Welcome to the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, and this afternoon's NFL Interconference game, matching the Chicago Bears and the Houston Oilers. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber, along with Johnny Morris. Watching the Bears in the past, I would assume they're going to try to run the football again today, Johnny.
Yes, Frank, it's been successful. Walter Payton now has 858 yards. Will he gain 1,000? It's going to be a big question. There's a problem. Roland Harper is out. He has a bad knee. Johnny Musso is in there, who did a great job last week. He gained 69 yards. Roland Harper was such a great blocker to help Walter Payton out, but Musso can block too. A new backfield combination for the Bears this week. It'll be critical.
Important game for both teams. They really do need it badly. From Houston's side, they have the worst offense of the AFC, but a lot of injury problems, particularly to Dan Pastorini. And they had quite a reunion, by the way, in the field.
Yes, there it is. The big three. Dan Pastorini with former coach Sid Gilman, who is now with the Bears, and, of course, Bum Phillips, the present coach. Pastorini came on last week, did very well for Houston, although they lost to Cincinnati, but his ankle is better than it has been in a long time, and if the Oilers are going to get their offense going, it's going to have to be Dan Pastorini's arm that does it, because the offense has been very sluggish. Pastorini is healthier than he has been in the past 2 or 3 weeks.
They are known for a big play offense, and they like to go for the bomb, particularly to Kenny Burrow. So the Bears are going to have to be wary of that. Oilers, of course, in blue, and Chicago in white. Only the second meeting ever of these two clubs. Bears won the toss, elected to receive. And this is Tony Fritsch, who started his NFL career with the Dallas Cowboys, moved on to San Diego, and is now kicking for the Oilers. In fact, they brought him in one game deep into the regular season when they had problems with Skip Butler, the regular kicker. Byron Bashnagel, number 84, is the deep man. Artificial turf here, of course, and we're indoors, 72 degrees, and no wind in the Astrodome. This will be a boon to the place kicker, certainly. Here we go. Each team trailing its division leader by 2 games. Bashnagel at the 12. At the 20, 25, 30. Bashnagel, 35, 40, 45, 50, and dragged down at the 45 of the Houston Oilers.
We're talking a boon to the offense on the first play of the game. Brian Bashnagel takes one back about 50 yards, and he never really showed blazing speed here. Watch him pick his way as he goes across the field, leaves his 4 horsemen, gets a key block there, and then cuts inside the block and turns up the field. Bashnagel returned one for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Atlanta after not returning kicks the first part of the season. Brian Bashnagel has put the Bears in good shape.
1st and 10, Bears at the Oiler 46, following a 43-yard kickoff return. Payton is charged loose of the football, and the Oilers have recovered. Loose ball. It's at the 25-yard line, and the Bears get it back at the 20. A 34-yard loss for the Bears as Payton was jarred. It looked like Ted Washington came up with the ball, then he lost it.
Yes, the fumble came, and Ted Washington tried to pick the ball up on the goal as Walter just slipped and the ball bounced to Watch. Now, watch 59, Ted Washington, instead of falling on it, he tried to pick it up and run with it. Consequently, the ball came back to the Chicago Bears, and that's the old adage the coaches will say, if you got the ball, fall on it and get it. The Oilers could have had a very big break, but the Bears got it back. And we have a situation with a first down because they rule possession to Houston, and it's first down for the Bears, not second.
Well, that kind of wipes out that kickoff return. Reeve Sori made the fumble recovery, but there was a loss in the play of 34 yards. Here's Avellini. Fakes the throw and does get it away to Bashnagel. Bashnagel hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard, and he was drilled out of bounds. I'll tell you one thing. This game matches 2 of the most physical teams in the entire National Football League. Let's look at the lineup here. Here's the Bear lineup with Musso filling in for Roland Harper, who was injured on the first play last week. The Bear receivers, no change there. And the Chicago offensive line. That's the group that's been going for Chicago all season long. Ted Albrecht, of course, number 1 choice, doing a good job. The Houston defensive line, Kennard there replaces Curly Culp, who has a back problem but will see injury. They play that 3-4. They have 4 linebackers and, of course, the 4 deep men, and they have a rookie there in Bill Courier. 2nd down, 8. Penalty marker is thrown as Payton takes the handoff. And the Bears feel that Payton was taking a little unnecessary punishment, and on the second play from scrimmage, we get our first scrap.
Well, I think we're going to have quite a ball game, Frank. Noah Jackson saw that the Oilers were kind of manhandling Walter because the whistle had blown, and Noah, who's kind of one of Walter's protectors, was doing a little protecting.
Well, the marker was thrown well before the scrap started, so let's see if we'll have an additional penalty on account of that. Jim Tunney is the referee, and he certainly is one of the best in the National Football League. Tunney's crew, which also includes Pat Harder, Earl Toller, Bob McElwee, Pat Knight, and Don Hakes.
Now, I'm sure the official is back there telling everybody, that's Mr. Tunney telling the Bears just to cool it, take it easy, let's play football. He's trying to get this game underhand before it gets out of hand, and Tunney is a little upset.
Offside against the Oilers. So that costs Houston 5, and apparently be no call in the fight.
Now, the whistle had blown at this point, and Robert Brazil was in on it, one of Walter Payton's best friends.
That's interesting, isn't it? Brazil and Payton, of course, played together and were both drafted in the first round at Jackson State. Second down and a long 2 for the Bears now at their 28 after the 5-yard penalty for offside. No score early in the game. Payton caught at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. Needed a good 2, though, so it's going to be third and still a yard needed for the first down. Young, number 77, made the stop for the Oilers. There's the officials. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited. Obviously, Payton picked up a little more yardage than we thought. Consequently, the necessity for measurement. Bears just a little bit short, that much for the first down. Third down coming up.
I think we can expect the Bears to do an awful lot of running. They are now the number 1 rushing team in the entire NFL. We're having a heck of a time getting this game underway.
Avellini on the quarterback sneak apparently has enough for the first down. First down of the ball game. Bears are 3-4. Houston is 3-4. Each team trails its divisional leader by 2 games. And you can see what a Bear victory, say today, coupled with a Viking loss to St. Louis, which is certainly a possibility, could do for the Bears in the race. It put them just 1 game out.
That's right. They would play Kansas City the following week and then a showdown with Minnesota, but they have to take them one at a time, and this one, of course, is the key game. If they lose it, 3-5.
First and 10. Bears at their 32-yard line. Bashnagel in motion. Avellini feeds Payton, and Payton finds some running room for the first time this afternoon and jets out to the 38-yard line for a pickup of 6 yards.
There is a very interesting statistic. On the Bears, the games that they have won almost 80% of their plays from scrimmage, running plays from scrimmage in their victories. So that's what you call running the ball an awful lot, Frank.
Yes. Avellini last week threw only 9 passes. That's the second time this year he has thrown only 9 times in a game. On 2nd and 5, it is Musso. And the Italian stallion from Alabama reaches the 40-yard line. Still going to be short of the first down by a couple of yards.
And Johnny Musso has a big job today as we look at Bob Avellini. Musso has been playing a lot of the running back slot that Payton plays, so he switches from fullback to halfback and back and forth. Assignments obviously are different. He has to block like a big fullback does, and Johnny Musso is not that big, 190, 195 pounds. He's a tremendous blocker. From last week he did very well. We'll have to see how it goes this week.
Third down, Bears need 2 for the first at their 40. Early in the game, no score. Nice fake to Payton. Scott up to the 50 and out of bounds, and we get a flag. As Scott is shoved into the Oiler bench across the way, penalty marker down, and it looks like they'll bring it back. Speaking of Bob Avellini, he had his Ironman streak broken last week. Up until late in that ball game against the Packers, no other quarterback had played for the Bears through 7 games, and Phipps, of course, did see a little bit of action.
And, excuse me, Frank, and the Bears are getting, let's take a listen to the penalty.
Clipping, number 84. Third down, still third.
So Bashnagel guilty of the clipping call. That'll set up third down, and now the Bears need 17 for the first down as the ball is back at the 25.
And this is the kind of a situation Jack Pardee doesn't like to get into. They now have had 60 penalties on the year for 505 yards. That's a lot of penalties.
Bears still haven't given up the ball since the opening kickoff. Game's about 4 minutes old. Avellini short of the intended receiver. James Scott at the 45-yard line, and the Bears will be punting.
Avellini was under extreme pressure that time. The blitz was on by Ted Washington as he came from the right side, and Avellini had to rush his pass and couldn't get the zing on it, and the Bears are going to have to turn the ball over to Houston.
Parsons back to do the punting. He's kicked 39 times for an average of 38.9. And Billy White Shoes Johnson, the leading kick returner in the National Football League, is deep as a single safety. Very high kick. Boy, that one looked like it was about to hit the ceiling. Beautiful hang time by Parsons on that kick, and Johnson had no choice but to fair catch it at the 26-yard line. And Houston goes to the offense for the first time. Coming up next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, here's the series of events we'll have for you. The Dixie 500, which is being run today in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll have the highlights of that. We'll have the Pendleton Roundup Rodeo from Oregon, which was held about a month back, and another round of the world's strongest men competition. They're going to be pulling a passenger tram weighing 9,200 pounds, if you can believe that. 1st and 10, Oilers, first possession of the afternoon at their 26-yard line. They've got some injury problems in the backfield, too. Ronnie Coleman taking the handoff from Pastorini, and he was stopped for a loss of 2. Mike Hartenstein, number 73, leading the Bear charge. Their top rusher, a rookie, Tim Wilson, is out of the lineup, and Carpenter, another rookie, is replacing him. This is the Houston backfield. Oiler receivers, Mike Barber is a rookie. Eddie Foster is a rookie. And the offensive line. This Houston team has 14 rookies, and 6 of them start. 4 offensively and 2 on defense. 2nd down, 12. Pastorini, a little razzle-dazzle, and Ken Burrow catches the Bears napping as Burrow is run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A pickup of 8 on the play. Beautiful fake by Pastorini, and Burrow turned on the Jets coming around the end.
A little razzle-dazzle, and you see Jerry Muckenstern, number 58, gets sucked into the play as they come around. Doug Buffon has had the flu and is not playing right now, and here comes 00. Gary Fensick has to recover and come back, along with Doug Plank, Alan Ellis to knock him out of bounds, but a good play by the Houston Oilers as Ken Burrow on the end around.
They pick up 10 yards, but they needed 12, so it's 3rd down, 2. Oilers at their 34. Coleman. Loose ball. And the Bears have recovered a fumble. Ronnie Coleman fumbles, and Plank, number 46, is on the bottom.
Let's take a look. I don't know if we can see who caused the fumble as Coleman came in, and there's a maze of men there, and it's kind of a delayed reaction fumble as the Bears pounce on the ball, and there's Doug Plank, who alertly sees it and recovers. The Bears have the first break of the game at the 35-yard line. 1st down, Chicago.
10 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the opening period at the Astrodome. Second meeting ever in regular season between these two clubs. Avellini beats Musso, and Musso is inside the 30 and charges to the 28 for a pickup of 7 on the play. Reinfeld in on the stop, number 37, along with Greg Bingham, number 54. It was John's best game last week, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He has been playing behind Roland Harper and Walter Payton, and, you know, nobody's going to get too much playing time behind those two gentlemen. But Musso can do it. He's played in the NFL, he's played in the Canadian League and the old WFL.
2nd and 3. Bears at the Oiler 28. Payton trying to pick up the first down. Looks like he may be about a yard short as they unpeel. Avellini coming into this game has hit 50% of his passes. He has thrown for 7 touchdowns, but he has had 9 intercepted. So he's midway in the passing stats. 3rd down and a yard for the Bears at the 26.
3rd down.
That's a pretty good running average, isn't it?
I'd say
game?
so. We were checking some of O.J. Simpson's stats last night, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. He's going to call a timeout. O.J. Simpson, through his first 7 games, the year he set the record, went over 2,000 yards, had 1,025 yards at this particular point. So Peyton's got a little catch-up to do. Timeout on the field here at the Astrodome in Houston. No score, and we'll be back after this.
Your family farmed this land for 6 generations, and not one day was easy. The work never ends, but you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster.
Okay, boys. Let's go home.
And when the sun finally takes a rest, so do you. And you call it Miller time. Time to relax and head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we got the beer. Miller Beer.
Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris at the Astrodome as we head back to work. Chicago has the ball in a 3rd down 1 at the 26 of the Oilers. And of course, Bob Avellini called timeout, though he had to waste a timeout. He wanted to be sure on the play call. Musso, number 22, and Peyton, number 34 in the backfield. Musso with Peyton leading the interference, and he did not make it. He did not pick up the first down as the Oilers strung it out. Alexander, number 19, Willie Alexander, and Greg Bingham on the tackle.
Well, normally what they'll do is throw Peyton up and over the top of the heap, but this time they decide to run Musso with 34, Peyton blocking. He does not get the block this time as Bingham comes through with the pursuit, and Willie Alexander plays off of Peyton's block, and Musso had no chance. And of course, that's the risk you take when you go wide on a 3rd and 1 situation. So now we have the field goal possibility.
Thomas, 9 out of 12 on the year, his longest 47. This will be from 44 yards away, and he was kicking these like clockwork before the game. Got the distance, but he missed it to the right. Had the distance, but off to the right. And he was really hitting them before the game. We were down there talking to him. He loves his place, apparently.
I guess that really tells the difference when there's a rush on, because I don't think he missed a practice attempt before the game, but not now.
So, the Bears fail to score. Chicago nothing, Houston nothing. And the Oilers take over.
Should have bought Mobile One. The Oilers saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. Fairmont's mileage ratings are the same as a little VW Rapid when both are equipped with automatic transmission. And this Fairmont, as shown, is actually sticker price less than this Rapid. Yet Fairmont has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
1st and 10 for the Oilers at their 27-yard line. Some other scores. Dallas leads the Giants 14-3. That's in the 2nd period. Miami 7, the Jets 3 in the 2nd period. And the Chiefs 3, Green Bay nothing in the 1st quarter. Our score, 0-0. Ronnie Coleman up the middle for the Houston Oilers. And Coleman, the former free agent, reaches the 35-yard line for a pickup of 8 on the play. Fine run.
And we might see the Oilers going to the right quite a bit with number 58, Jerry Muckensturm, in for Doug Buffon. Muckensturm hasn't played that much. Doug has had the flu the past 2 or 3 days, and he's very weak. He still may play. But right now it's Muckensturm in there, who is much less experienced than the veteran Buffon.
2nd down. Oilers need 2 for the 1st down at their 35-yard line. Pastorini. Stick it on the ground. This time goes with Carpenter, and Carpenter has the First down of the ball game for Houston at the 38-yard line. Carpenter, one of 4 rookies starting in the Oiler offense.
Well, this time they didn't run at Mr. Muckensturm. They ran up the middle, and of course, in this kind of a play, he gets away from the block. Ronnie Coleman keeps him out in case the run had busted loose. He wouldn't have gotten there, but I'm sure he's going to be tested.
Oilers 1st and 10. Nose of the ball just inside their 40-yard line. They've got Eddie Foster wide to the right side. Ken Burrow, double zero, is split to the left. Nice fake to Coleman over the middle. Burrow at the 40-yard line of the Chicago Bears. First down, Oilers. Pretty good coverage on him that time by Virgil Livers.
Just a down and in on Burrow. He got the inside position there, and there wasn't much Livers could do about it, except when the pass came to try and hit the receiver and jolt it at the impact of the ball. The ball's there. Livers makes the hit, but it was perfect right on the numbers. He took the little leap, caught it in the stomach, and you cannot stop that pass.
So the Oilers are moving for the first time this afternoon. That's a second period score. Eagles, who are coming on over New Orleans. Of course, they're coming off a big upset victory over the Rams. Coleman looking for a hole. That was a draw, but he stretches it to go outside, hits the 30, and is down to the 24-yard line. The hole up the middle was completely closed, so Coleman just felled his way along to the outside and picked up 16 yards.
And it looked like he had all day from that I formation. There's the jam up. Good blocking up the center, but he couldn't see those little holes there, so Muckensturm gets caught inside there. He goes out and watch the straight arm he gives to Gary Fensick. Beautiful straight arm. And that's the way they used to do it. That's the way Jimmy Brown used to do it, and Jimmy Taylor. And he goes on down and puts Houston at a first down.
Oilers 1st and 10 at the Bear 24-yard line. Again, Coleman picks up 4 to the 20 before he's shoved back. Hartenstein on the bottom of that pile. Number 73, that's a second period score. In a game of great interest to the fans here in Houston, because both those teams, of course, are in their division in the AFC.
Cleveland was 5-2 going in. Cincinnati was 3-4, and a loss by Cincinnati would just about kill them off for a divisional title.
Second down. 6 needed for the first down. Ball at the 21-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Looks like Pastorini might be checking off at the line of scrimmage on this one. Big hole for Carpenter. It closed quickly, but he moved inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
Well executed play by the Oilers, and the key block was by Carl Malk, the center, as he pushed Reeves downfield, and they cut back on it. It was very nice. Watch the reaction by the middle linebacker in the center, number 55, on 57. And finally, Reeves gets him by the ankle. Wayman Bryant by the ankle, and down he goes. But the Oilers are plugging holes in that Bear defensive line.
Third down 4 from the 18-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Carpenter inside the 15, and looks like he's got enough for the first down, depending on where they spot the ball here. It's going to be close. They put it down at the 13-yard line. Carpenter is a high draft choice by the Oilers out of Miami of Ohio. And as we said, he's filling in for their leading runner, another rookie, Tim Wilson, who is sidelined today with a knee problem.
Of course, the Bears are without Wally Chambers, who underwent knee surgery. I hope he's feeling okay. I'm sure he's laying in his bed now watching this game, and there's no more frustrating feeling than to be watching from a bedside, watch your team play.
This drive started back at the Houston 27. It's now reached the the Bear 13. Here's Pastorini unloading well over the head of the intended receiver, number 89, Eddie Foster. Foster, another rookie and a low-round draft choice out of the University of Houston.
You're going to see Foster come into your screen. Number 24, Virgil Livers, is covering him. The fake of the inside move and then to the outside to the corner, and he just overthrew him. And it's probably a good thing for the Oilers because Livers was right there had the ball been down at ground level.
2nd and 10. Oilers at the Bear 13. Burrow wide to the right side, and Foster in the slot inside of him. Off to the right of your screen. Again, Pastorini on the long count. A big hole for Carpenter. Inside the 10 down to the 8. Pickup of 5, maybe 6 yards on that play. That youngster runs well, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and that was almost a touchdown. There was a huge hole. Don Rees made a saving tackle, got him from behind by the ankles because it was wide open downfield.
Pickup of 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd down, and the Oilers will need 5 for the first down, as the officials have it marked at the 9-yard line of the Chicago Bears. No score. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the opening period, as Dan Pastorini looks over the defensive alignment. On the delay, and they caught Carpenter at the line of scrimmage. Good defense by the Bears' Jim Osborne, number 68, who smelled something coming and nailed Carpenter for a loss of a couple of yards. Back to the 11, so the Oilers will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Their kicker, Tony Fritsch, is 8 out of 12 on the year, but he has hit 7 of his last 9 attempts. So he's got a pretty good string going. And last week missed one for the first time inside of 40. This will be a 29-yard effort. John Hadel holds. It is good. So the Oilers have jumped out to a 3-point lead after a 74-yard drive with 2 minutes, 28 seconds left to play in the opening period. Houston 3, Chicago nothing.
Are you still chained to? Gotcha. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor lets you walk away, free from nicks and cuts. Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected inside 3 floating heads to give you a comfortable shave that's razor close, razor smooth, for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor. It lets you walk away from gotcha.
Hi. Heading for your Avis car? Well, I'm the guy who checked it out. Yes, sir. Had the fan belt adjusted, the oil changed, even checked the power windows.
Very nice.
Gonna purr like a kitten. At Avis, we try harder. We designed our own car care program to help make our cars safe and ready to go.
Thank you.
Herbert, is he family?
We try harder, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night. Sensational.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
There's Doug Buffon on the Bear bench, and the trainers are just over feeling his head like he's still got fever, buddy, and apparently he has. He doesn't look well, does he?
Well, he's been in bed for 3 days, and it gets kind of tough. But football being what it is, professional football, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in.
There's Baschnagel, who ran the opening kickoff back 43 yards. Fritsch kicking off. Baschnagel at the 2-yard line. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Good job of keeping his balance as he reaches the 33-yard line. Looked like Foster, number 89, was over there quickly for the Oilers, but we got a penalty marker. 31 yards on that kickoff return by Baschnagel.
I'd say at the moment, Baschnagel is probably number 1 in the NFC in kickoff returns with that long one he had to begin the game, but this is going to be taken back. Obviously, there was some kind of a clip.
Jim Tunney, the referee, will place the ball down, and now will give us the word.
Illegal use of the hands. Offense number 46, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Boy, that occurred awful early in the run back, too, didn't it?
Sure did.
Very costly for the Bears, who start off with very poor field position. There's the book on the Houston drive, which resulted in the 29-yard field goal by Fritsch. Avellini hands to Payton, and Payton breaks a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage and is out to the 20-yard line for a pickup of 9. Let's see, that gives him 6 carries for 22 yards thus far in the afternoon.
And have you ever seen a runner get up from carrying the ball so fast as Walter? He'd be a great gymnast. He can do all those tricks that you can do. He can do a midair flip. He can walk on his hands for 50 yards. He once, 2 weeks ago, came up behind Brad Eklund, who is 6'4", a Bear defensive coach, and just grabbed him by the shoulders from behind and leaped right over him.
That's amazing. Second down at a yard for the first down. Bears at their 20. Pastorini has excellent protection as he goes for Scott deep, and Scott can't quite catch up to it. Alexander back there with him at the 25-yard line. That would travel about 50 yards or so in the air. You know, it's interesting, the different types of runners. You remember Jim Brown. There's Brad Eklund, who we were talking about a moment ago.
How'd you like to come up behind him and then put your hands on his shoulders?
And
he didn't lean
leapfrog.
over or anything. He went right up over top of Brad Eklund.
I was bringing up Jim Brown. You remember when he was hit, you'd think he'd never get up and get back to the huddle.
That's right.
It was just exactly the opposite. But, boy, when the ball was snapped, he was 100% again.
Watch out.
Third down. And the Bears need a yard for the first down at their 20-yard line. Again, Avellini tries to pick it up with a quarterback sneak as he did a few moments ago. And this will be close. As we mentioned, Houston, one of the many teams that now play that three-man front. I know a lot of the front three linemen are not very happy about that, are they?
No, they're not, because they feel that they're sacrificing themselves as the Bears apparently failed. It looks like they were a little bit short to make the first down, and they'll have to punt. Bob Avellini is saying, let's have a measurement. But you're right about the three defensive linemen. They feel they're sacrificing themselves for the sake of the linebackers who make these spectacular tackles. But that's football. Some people get the notoriety and some don't.
Allie Oilers hold the Bears and force Chicago to punt. Got a bulletin from New England that Russ Francis, one of the great tight ends in the NFL, has been injured in that game and hospitalized with 3 broken ribs. That'll take care of him for most of the rest of the season. Parsons will punt. He got beautiful hang time on his first punt. And the Bears at Billy Johnson, white shoes, completely surrounded. He's passing on the fake, and it's good for the first down as he nails Steve Schubert for the first down at the 30-yard line.
I want to tell you, that was a gutsy play, a very gutsy play. Bob Parsons, of course, has played some quarterback, and he is just picks the ball and throws to Schubert out on the outside. The leap, catches it in his stomach, makes sure of the grab, and is down. A first down for the Chicago Bears on a gutsy call deep in their own territory.
Clock ticking away, the final 45 seconds of the opening period here at the Astrodome in Houston. Oilers lead 3-0. But the Bears keep their drive alive with the fake punt and the successful forward pass. Here's Avellini pitching to Payton. Musso leading the interference. Waller trying to get outside and run out of bounds in front of the Houston bench. You know, Jackson State played here last night. I imagine Waller was here, and probably Brazil both, don't you think?
I saw some of their old friends from Jackson State. Brazil, I'm sure they're... In fact, Waller was going over. I didn't see him to see if he actually did. They have team meetings on Saturday night. Sometimes they don't get too much time to themselves. But Waller was a great one. Can you imagine Jackson State, what kind of team they must have had a few years ago? Brazil, Ricky Young, Walter Payton.
Second down. Bears need 6 for the first down. Ball is at Chicago's 34-yard line. Again, Payton, and Payton finding some running room. And very close for the first down at the 40-yard line. Looks like he may be just a wee bit short, but we'll see after they unpeel. Greg Bingham, 54, and Reinfeldt, 37 on the tackle.
Greg Bingham, number 54, felt the jolt from Walter Payton. As you see, number 22, Johnny Musso, kicking his linebacker out. And Noah Jackson, 65. Now here comes Bingham, 54, and Payton really gives him a jolt, and Bingham had to just hang on there, and it took 3 or 4 of the Oilers to finally bring Walter down. Brazil, number 52, had to come from the other side.
Avellini has thrown 4 times, completed 2 for 5 yards, and Payton now has 31 yards and 8 carries. And that'll do it for the first quarter, because there is the gun. So that's the situation as the first period comes to an end at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. The end of the first quarter with the score, Houston 3, Chicago nothing.
That's a good picture. That's a better picture. Even closer. Even better.
Polaroid's SX70 does, without attachments, what no other camera can do. Shoot from less than a foot away. In minutes, you have a color portrait, sharp and clear. Polaroid's SX70 Alpha 1.
When it's so cold, a radiator can freeze solid, and you're still rolling. That's the mark of Xerex. When it's so hot, a radiator can blow its top,
and you're still driving cool, that's the mark of Xerox. When corrosion is eating holes in radiators and you're still going strong, that's the mark of Xerox. Start fresh now with year-round protection. That's the mark of Xerox.
As we head into the second period of play at the Astrodome, the Bears have the football. They have a third down less than a yard. Well, the first down with the nose of the ball just inside their 40. This is a good opportunity for one of Peyton's acrobatic stunts.
Yes, they've done a couple of quarterback sneaks. They've tried the end on the short yardage situation. Let's see what they do with Peyton out of the I formation.
Well, they use him as a decoy, as Musso looks like he has the first down at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Only time these two clubs met in regular season was back in '73, and the Bears won it by a score of 35-14. And Sid Gilman, who is now the Bears offensive coordinator at that time, was head coach of the Houston Oilers.
I think this is one game that Sid Gilman would like to see the Chicago Bears win, especially.
1st and 10, Bears at their 42-yard line, trailing 3-0. Avellini, quick throw to Peyton, 45. Peyton to the 50-yard line and dragged out of bounds at the Oiler 48.
Great body control by Walter Payton on that one, because the pass was a little bit back and he just did a nice little twist in the air. As you see, the fake of the handoff, the play action pass. Avellini puts it there, and Walter turned around there and got it and never lost a stride.
By the way, when Peyton picks up 59 yards rushing today, he will move past Willie Gallimore into 3rd place on the Bears' all-time rushing list. That is a first quarter score. Kansas City playing its first game under its new head coach, Tom Bettis. Our score, Houston 3, Bears nothing. 1st and 10. And we get markers thrown. Look like Elvin Bethea, number 65. The right end defensively of the Houston Oilers. Jumped offside, unless he was drawn.
And that was the ruling. He apparently was drawn. I didn't see anything for the call, but let's listen.
False start, offense, number 65. Still 1st down.
Noah Jackson, the Bear guard, whistled for the infraction, drawing Bethea offside, so the Bears are penalized 5 back to their 47. It is now 1st down, 15. Not much there. As the Bears try Peyton up the middle, and he's jammed up pretty good by Steve Kiner, number 57.
Steve Kiner really gave him a jolt there. Walter took his punishment on that one. As you notice, Walter's playing deep in the backfield off behind Musso. That's in order to give him a little more time to survey the situation, to find his own hole, because the team like the Oilers, with that 3-4 that they use, they do a lot of slanting and stuff, and you have to cut back on it.
2nd down, 13 needed for the 1st down. Bears at their 49. They come in with the safety blitz on Avellini. Gets the pass away. And right through the arms of Greg Latta and almost into the arms of Bill Courier, number 20. Boy, that looked like it hit him right in the stomach.
It looked like Greg Latta lost the ball and didn't see it, because he had his arms like he was going to catch it, and it hit another body. But I'll tell you, Walter Payton was wide open on that play. Watch Dennis Lick blocking on James Young, and he holds him out.
Literally?
Literally. Now there's more holding by Hunt there.
That sets up a 3rd down, 13. I don't know what happened. Looked like Latta had a clear shot at that. Couldn't hang on. Avellini, again with good protection, goes for the home run to Scott. Alexander with him, and Alexander bats it down at the goal line. Willie Alexander, who earlier this year ran an interception back 95 yards for a game-winning touchdown against the Green Bay Packers, comes up with a gem of a defensive play. And that'll force the Bears to punt.
Straight down the field, you can see Alexander is playing way off. He's not going to let Scott get behind him. He was on the ball all the way, and Scott didn't quite get back there to jump for the ball, too. And Alexander did a heck of a job on that one.
Parsons to do the punting, and Billy White Shoes Johnson is deep. Bounding at the 20 and out of bounds somewhere between the 15 and the 20-yard line. They're going to rule it out of bounds at the 15. So the Oilers will take over from there with 13 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. Houston leading 3-0.
Introducing a new 1978 Ford Granada, the ESS. Can you tell it from this impressive $20,000 Mercedes 280 SE? Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. The new Ford Granada ESS. See how close you can come to the look of a $20,000 Mercedes at the price of a Granada. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Dribbles to the top of the key, shoots, good. The pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Ever want to watch two things that are on at the same time? Well, now you can, because Sony's revolutionary Betamax deck, which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching another channel. With Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a thing.
A triple play. You've just seen a triple play.
No, I didn't.
You don't see those very often.
Except for the insurance and closing.
Oh, well, what insurance company?
Ah, they're all the same.
Allstate's different.
Different? How?
We give a 10% discount for newer homes.
Oh?
It's a 10% discount.
Now 10% off our rate.
On basic homeowners insurance for houses 5 years old or less.
Allstate's different, all right.
Good hand.
Oh, boy.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us. They're good hands, people.
I tell you, if they had to rely on him to be playing, they'd be in bad shape.
Well, at least he got in the game free.
1st and 10. Oilers at their 15-yard line, leading 3-0 on Tony Fritch's 29-yard first quarter field goal. Dan Pastorini. And he goes long, and he's got Burrow. Burrow is at the 35. 85 yards for a touchdown.
Take a look at the Chicago Bears secondary as Livers running with Burrows, and you can see Plank is deep middle. Should maybe try and help out, but then Livers, as Burrows gets into stride, he's so much shorter than Burrows. He turns on the speed, and the pass was right there. No chance for Plank to get over and help out. And once Burrows has got it going full speed, you are not going to catch him. Ken Burrow, the man who can break a game open, and he has just done it now as the Oilers are about to take a 10-0 lead. The Bears are in trouble.
Fritch is on to try the extra point as this capacity crowd of 50,000 still roaring its approval. John Hadel to hold. The kick is good. So the Oilers have struck with the big play. Dan Pastorini unleashing an 85-yard bomb to Ken Burrow. And it's 10-0 Houston.
I dare you to knock this off. I dare you to compare anybody's batteries, with alkaline power cells. Try to beat them for long life. You know what? You can't. When you want long-lasting energy, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power system than gold, red, and black alkaline power cells from Eveready. Come on. I dare you.
This drop is too little to cover the head of a match. Yet this is enough adhesive, super strong, super fast to lift 2.5 tons. It's Duro Super Glue. A drop will do to mend jewelry, ceramics, rubber, and glass in only 10 seconds. It truly is super strong and super fast. Super Glue. A drop will do. Super Glue. A product of Loctite Technology.
Crowd still buzzing here in Houston over that electrifying 85-yard bomb. Pastorini to Ken Burrow. That was not the longest pass in the league this year. Lynn Dickey of Green Bay has thrown a 95-yarder to Steve Odom, but it's certainly one of the longest that you'll see. Fritch kicking off for the Oilers. Baschnagel back to his 2. 10, 15, 20. And corralled at the 22-yard line. Good job by Al Johnson. number 15, and Ed Fisher, number 60, off the specialty teams.
Let's take another look, man for man, with help from the middle, from Doug Plank in the middle. But when Burrow went straight down the sidelines, it's pretty hard for him to get over with help. And Livers was just beaten here. The only chance he might have had is if he took a little dive here, he might flick him by the ankle. It's better than letting him run into the end zone unmolested. It was a long shot, but at least it could have been a try.
1st and 10 now for the Bears. One play, 85 yards, 10 seconds. That's the book on that particular Oiler drive. They've been known to do that to you. 1st and 10, Bears at their 22-yard line. Peyton drawn at the line of scrimmage by Elvin Bethea, number 65.
And Frank, what we're seeing is that the Bears running game has not really taken hold. The Oilers so far has stopped it. The Bears are now down by 10. And if the running game does not catch hold pretty soon, we'll see how long they stick to the game plan. They're going to have to go to the air, which they haven't done that much this year. So the Bears are going to have a real test. They may be forced, although it's not out of hand yet at 10-0, but they may be forced eventually to go to a passing game that they have hardly used this year.
Loss of a half yard on the play. 2nd down, a little more than 10 needed for the 1st down. Avellini back to throw it, gets it away to Latta. Latta is at the 20, 25, and Latta, caught from behind, is down at the 29-yard line. Ted Washington, number 59, and the stop for the Houston Oilers. Got some other scores for you here. This is a 3rd period score. You talk about a surprise. We got a penalty, as you can see. Buffalo leading New England 24-7, and the Patriots have lost Russ Francis in that one. Steve Grogan just had a pass intercepted and run back for a touchdown by Doug Jones.
And that's the same team that lost to Seattle, I think, last week by about 50 points, didn't they? The Buffalo got killed by Seattle.
Isn't that amazing? So the walk-off against the Bears here for illegal use of hands, and Jim Tunney will tell us who it's against.
Illegal use of the hands. Offense, number 70, 10 yards, still 2nd down.
Dennis Lick. And it'll be 2nd down and a little more than 20 needed for the 1st down. Miami leads the Jets 14-3 in the 3rd period. Musso got about 4 out to the 15-yard line.
In the 3rd period, Buffalo increasing its lead 24-7 over New England.
Let's take a look at the battle as man Kennard right on the nose of Dan Piper, one-on-one. Musso plays off the block, and great play by Kennard as he reacts to the way Musso goes and makes the tackle.
Kennard is just a rookie and filling in for Curly Culp, who has got a bad back. 3rd down, 17 for the Bears. Peyton, 20, 25. Walter Payton fighting for that 1st down. He's going to be a couple of yards short. Willie Alexander, number 19, finally nails him, but he threatened to break that one.
And this time you saw Kennard got through again and almost had the tackle, but Peyton busted. Watch the man over the center, number 71, plays off the center's block. He has a clean shot at Peyton and missed the tackle, and then Peyton was able to get the extra yardage, but of course they had a long way to go, and it's a 4th down situation, and finally Peyton has brought down Willie Alexander on the tackle.
Parsons back to do the punting on 4th down and a long 2, and they're not faking it this time. Parsons hangs it up high and a bit short. No chance for a run back. Bounces at the 40, and it took a Houston hop and is down at the 40-yard line of the Oilers, and we get a penalty marker on the field. There's Peyton.
There may be 2 different penalties on this play. I saw them go at different ends of the field.
Tony making a survey, though. He looked at Pat Harder, and he said, "What do you got?" And he looked at Burl Toller, and he said, "What do you got?" We may have 2 different ones here. Jim will give us a word.
Holding. Offense. Excuse me. Correction. Holding. Defense.
Holding on the defense. So let's bring it back now. If that happened, I guess before the ball was punted, the Bears make it a 1st down out of this.
He's also checking here. I don't think he was finished telling us what the situation was. He wants to be correct.
Depends when it happened.
Holding. Defense penalized at the spot of possession change.
Well, apparently it happened after the ball was kicked. So the Oilers will get possession of the ball, and the penalty will be marked off from the spot where the Bears down the ball, which is at the 40-yard line in Houston's end of the field. 10 minutes, 50 seconds left to play in the first half. Oilers leading the Bears 10-0. An 85-yard bomb past Pastorini to Ken Burrow and a 29-yard Tony Fritsch field goal. Zeke Moore having some words there with Burl Toller, one of the officials. Now here's the holding call, walked off against the Oilers. Going to put him back in the 25. I think Jim's going to tell us some more.
There were 2 fouls. There were 2 fouls. Will you turn the mic on, please? There were 2 fouls. Will you turn the mic on, please?
Well, we can hear, but apparently the PA mic is not.
Blue. Holding and personal foul. Penalized from the spot of possession change. It's first down.
He was holding up here.
Well, he took the greater of the 2 fouls, which in this case would have been the personal foul, which is a 15-yarder, as opposed to the 10-yarder on the holding call, because the spot of possession change was the 40, and they have moved it back to the 25. And while we try to figure all this out, Jack Pardee gets an explanation from Jim Tunney. We'll tell you we'll be back at the Astrodome in just a moment.
This year, when you step out on the town, don't just drive. Take off in the 1978 Thunderbird. With its distinctive look and size, its Thunderbird quality and comfort. And it comes at a down-to-earth price of $58.08 with automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, V8 and more. Flight test the 1978 Thunderbird. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game. Hey, Bob. Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
You want to see how adorable and shy I am?
On Our Own, the lights go out and Julia gets turned on by a tall, dark stranger. On Our Own, tonight, following Rhoda.
First and 10 for the Oilers. I think we got everything straightened out. It was a 15-yard penalty against the Oilers, which moves them from the 40 back to the 25. But it's first down 10. Pitch out to Coleman. Ronnie Coleman cutting back inside, and Coleman reaches the 30-yard line. Got 5 on the play. It'll be second down 5.
Now you watch Wayman Bryant, number 50. His job is to turn this play in as he goes out, forces Coleman in, and hopefully he's getting pursuit from the inside. But by the time the pursuit does come, Coleman is able to turn up and get some yards before he's finally brought down by Rydalch and Billy Newsom.
Oilers now have Don Hardiman, number 30, in their backfield. Team with Coleman. Second down 5 from the 30-yard line. Houston's end of the field. This is Hardiman, big 230-pound bruiser. First down at the 38-yard line. Reeves wound up at the bottom of that pile. Gary Fensick, number 45, also in on the tackle. That's a third period score now. The Dolphins over the Jets 14-3. Hardiman was on the injured list too. Former number 1 draft choice of the Oilers. Same year they got Brazil, as a matter of fact. They had 2 number 1s. Spent 1 on Brazil and 1 on Hardiman. Brazil was picked just a couple of notches behind Walter Payton that year. I think Brazil was the 6th player picked in the draft. Payton was number 4. Well, again, the razzle-dazzle. Billy White Shoes Johnson of 40, 45, 50, 40, 30. He may be gone. Billy White Shoes Johnson, touchdown.
Look. Billy White Shoes Johnson. Let's take another look The end around, Johnson at the top, the handoff to Coleman, to Johnson, excellent handoffs. They caught the Bears completely by surprise. Poor Virgil Livers, number 24, had two big linemen on him here. He had no chance, and Fensick, 45, was the only one that had a chance to get him. And he turned on the speed. Ellis with the final dive, but no soap. White Shoes Johnson for the touchdown. That's the way the Houston Oilers will beat you, with guys like Ken Burrow and Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Three-play drive, and they covered 61 yards again with the big play as Rich rams home the extra point try. And the Oilers have jumped out to a 17-0 lead over the Bears with 9 minutes and 17 seconds left to play in the first half.
It's hard to tell the difference between JCPenney Plain Pockets jeans and the world's best-selling jeans. After all, they're both made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. In fact, you probably couldn't tell the difference at all unless you noticed the fancy stitching on the back of those famous jeans, or the money you saved on Plain Pockets. JCPenney Plain Pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust a Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick, you can trust a Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. They've got the stuff when the starting's tough. You can trust a Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. Delco Freedom. Thanks, Delco.
61 yards on the touchdown. That's only Billy White Shoes Johnson's second touchdown of the year. The other came on the punt return. They're using him very sparingly this year on offense, concentrating on the kick returns.
He is really great, but I still can't understand. There were 2 or 3 times that Bear players could have taken a dive at the ball carrier, and you might get him down, but they're not leaving the ground to make the dive to get a guy when he's trying to break open.
Tony Fritsch kicking off for the Oilers. Little spinner bounces down to the 20. Bashnagel at the 10, 20, 25, 30. And down he goes at the 34. Ted Thompson, number 51, making the stop for the Houston Oilers. Well, it is time for the Bears to get it on track if they're going to do so. Being done in by the big play by the Houston Oilers. 26 on that kickoff return by Bashnagel.
I was talking to Jack Pardee last night, and he said we can win this game if we can stop Billy White Shoes Johnson and Ken Burrow from making the big play.
He hit it on the head, didn't he? First and 10. Bears at their 34. Little over 9 minutes left to play. First half. Creighton charging up the middle. There's a guy who never gives up no matter what the score is. He got 9. It'll be second down and a yard needed for the first down. Third period score. San Francisco starting to come back now. A couple of big wins after they lost their first 5, and that happened to coincide with the day that we were in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, and Ken Meyer decided to let Jim Plunkett call his own plays, and they haven't lost since then. They're going for their 3rd straight victory, and they could be right back into that race. That's pretty well wide open with the Rams and Atlanta having their problems. Second down, 1 yard needed for the first down. Musso gets the call, and Musso cracks up the middle across the 50 to the Oiler 49. That's a first down for the Chicago Bears.
Walter Payton had some trouble with his helmet. He has come off the field. Maybe he had his helmet cracked, or the face guard may have been damaged, and Robin Earl is coming onto the field. Somebody injured.
Oiler players shaken up, so we'll take an official timeout here for injury. It's another score on that San Francisco-Atlanta game. The 49ers have added a field goal and now lead Atlanta 10-0 in the third period of play. James Young is the injured player, number 77. Young is a rather interesting story. A year ago, he was a member of the Houston Fire Department, believe it or not. Free agent, signed by the Oilers this year, and he made the ball club, and he's turned into one of the regulars on the front 3.
And he's just on a leave of absence from the Fire Department. He may stay off on that leave of absence if he continues to play as well as he has. Let's hope he's not hurt seriously as he looks at some of the games around the league next week.
These are regional games that you'll see on CBS, depending on what part of the country you happen to be. Detroit, Atlanta, the Giants at Tampa Bay, Washington against Philadelphia. Los Angeles takes on the Packers, and San Francisco is in New Orleans. That's the CBS lineup next week.
It appears to be his knee.
James Young, the pride of the Houston Fire Department. Player who wasn't drafted. I think he had a shot at it with the Redskins or somebody else and didn't make it.
Well, he's a big man. He could take a deep breath and just blow that fire out.
Third period score. Bengals and the Browns really going after it. Chris Barr has just hit a 47-yard field goal to put Cincinnati out in front. 1st and 10. Bears have the ball at the Houston 49, but they're down 17-0. Midway in the second period. Avellini trying to open it up. Goes to Scott. And Scott has enough for a first down at the 37-yard line of Houston. James Scott, who makes his home not too far from here, Dallas.
They'll give Scott plenty of room, as we saw in a couple of our isolated plays, which gives him that 6 or 7 yard little turn in or hitch, and he can maybe run it for another 5 or 6 yards. The guys you have to watch out for are those fast linebackers like Washington, knocking one of those down or picking it off.
Scott didn't catch a pass last week against the Packers, and that's the first time this year that he has been blanked. Bears 1st and 10 at the Houston 37, and Peyton really took a shot, tried to spin out of it. But it was stopped at the 34 after a pickup of 3 yards. And I tell you, I'd get up a little slowly too after that one, as you could hear that pop up here.
It was Bingham who hit him, and he got a running shot at him. It's always the line.
Let's see.
Dan Pfeiffer was there for the reception, and Reeve Sorey.
Ineligible receiver touching a ball. 10 yards, loss of down.
Sorry, number 69, I think, made the catch on it.
That's all right. They won't take it away from him in the stats, maybe. Here's the play. As the blitz came, and Avellini had to get rid of it, and he tried to find somebody. You see Brazil, number 52, coming through clean and slick. He throws the ball, and I guess it was an automatic reaction. Watch the lineman go. Give me that ball. I don't see it very often. Nice pitch. No, there, Reeve Sorey got it on the rebound off of Pfeiffer, but it's all for naught. You can't do that.
That's a penalty, of course, and loss of down as well for the ineligible receiver. That moves the ball back to the 45-yard line of the Oilers. It is now 3rd down and 17 for the first down. Avellini again, a blitz is on as Avellini is swamped back at the 42. Oh, they're coming from everywhere, it looks like. A lot of pressure. Bethea was in there. Bingham was in there. And Avellini had trouble getting his arm up.
Watch the man over the center, Kennard. As he comes around, gets away from Pfeiffer, finds a clean, slick spot, and you can see him just force him out of the pocket, and then come the Houston Oilers as the pass blocking broke down completely.
Parsons back to do the punting. Dallas has another touchdown against the Giants. Tony Dorsett on a 1-yard run. It's 21-3. Low snap. And Parsons does get it away in a beautiful kick. Johnson watches this one sail over his head and on into the end zone for the touchback. So the Oilers will take over at the 20-yard line. 58 yards on that kick by Parsons under pretty good pressure after getting a low snap from center. 6 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the first half. The Oilers lead the Bears 17-0. Don't forget the big fight. A CBS Sports Special coming up Friday night, November 18th. That'll be from Las Vegas, and Leon Spinks, and a lot of people are talking about him as a future opponent of Muhammad Ali. He's unbeaten in the heavyweight. Will take on Alfio Righetti. Spinks' record is 5-0-1. His last bout he fought to a draw against Scott Lideau. And Righetti is the Italian heavyweight champion. Friday, November 18th on CBS. 1st and 10. Oilers at their 20-yard line. They have scorched the Bears on the big play thus far this afternoon. And here's Avellini going for another one. Again to Burrow. This time going down the right side, and Ellis trailing the play with him, had him covered pretty well.
Allen Ellis is very tough to beat, deep or short. The Bears have only given up 4 touchdown passes this season. now 5 with Burroughs.
I said Avellini instead of Pastorini. Those Italian names, they all sound alike, right?
Yeah. Well, they're both number 7, so
that's
if
one
you're
of the
colorblind, you're in trouble.
That's right. This is one of the few matchups in the NFL, I'm sure, where you have both quarterbacks number 7. I guess the only other one is Morton from Denver. This is Coleman. Ronnie Coleman sliding out to the 28-yard line. A couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down 2. Hey, those Oilers don't waste any time. They open up on 1st down. Pastorini puts it up 60 yards.
He wants more. And a lot of this they learned from Sid Gilman, who was really an offensive innovator, and it's the Bears that are the conservative type of offense as opposed to Houston today.
Bum Phillips wanted to send in the short yardage offense with an extra tight end, and Pastorini waved him off. He wants to do it himself. 3rd down 2 for the first. Oilers at their 28. Hardiman gets the call, and Hardiman looks like he has enough for the first down. At the 31-yard line, everything in order? And it is. It is 1st down for the Oilers. Dan Pastorini came up the year that there were so many great quarterbacks in the draft. Same year Plunkett came up, as I recall.
He's had a bad back and a bad ankle. Only played a quarter last week. And
Archie Manning came up that same year, too. Had a big year for quarterbacks in the first round of the draft. 1st and 10. Oilers at their 32-yard line. Nice fake to Hardman. Tried to get it out to Burrow. Bears scooped it up quickly, but the officials ruled it an incompleted forward pass. No lateral involved there.
And that's the old adage, catch the ball before you run, and even the best of them violate that once in a while.
Interesting statistic on Ken Burrow, who caught that 85-yarder a moment ago. He has caught 25 touchdown passes in 7 seasons with Houston, and 20 of them have been more than 40 yards. There's Bum Phillips. Man has succeeded, Sid Gilman, as head coach of the Houston Oilers. Oilers moving from their 32-yard line. Pastorini handing off to Carpenter, and Carpenter has another first down for Houston at the 43. Rob Carpenter, the rookie from Miami of Ohio, slipping through the middle. They may have the worst offense in the AFC, but they're not showing it today. That's 12 yards.
And they're just running right through that Bear defensive line. And Carpenter just turns it on and spins out of it and spins away here as he gets away from fencing, and then takes a shot from Doug Plank at the last second here. Right there. They got the first down.
1st and 10. Oilers at their 44. Again a nice fake. Out to White Shoes it goes. Johnson at the 45. A penalty marker goes down as Johnson is tackled at the 48-yard line, just short of midfield. A lot of white shirts in the middle of that one.
Well, that's kind of a pass you want to get to Billy White Shoes. You put him out on the side, it's like being in an end run and you're out in the wide open field. Gary Fensick hurt his hand on that play. He's staying in the ball game. There's a penalty, obviously, now against the Houston Oilers. The Bears are in a little bit of trouble. They have to get on the board before halftime. I'm sure they don't want to go in 17-0. If they could get some kind of a touchdown, at least it's still a ball game.
Here's the call from Jim Tunney.
Personal foul. Clipping. Number 73. First down.
Greg Sampson, one of the better Houston offensive linemen, former number 1 draft choice out of Stanford, who started on defense. Fensick nursing that injured hand a little bit. 1st and 25. Make it 22. Oilers are back at their 32-yard line. Coleman in motion. Pastorini drills one over the middle. Burrow at the 50-yard line. He is going to be about a yard short of the first down. That'll set up 2nd down 1. They needed 22 for the first. He got 21.
The pass blocking is holding up for Pastorini as Don Reese came in to block. The linebacker was blocked. Burrow down and turns in, got position, and the pass was right on the numbers. How can you stop it? You play him too tight and try and muscle him, he'll run right by you.
Now, Livers had seen it from both sides. He's had him run by him, he's played him off, and given up a pass like that. Second down in the yard.
The only answer is to put pressure on the quarterback.
Pastorini pitching to Coleman, and Coleman running into his own blocker. Hardiman still on his feet. Moves inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. First down for the Oilers at the Bear 39 as the clock rolls on with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the first half. Everything working all of a sudden now for the Houston Oilers. Official timeout as they move the change down. And we have an injured Bear. Trying to get a number for you. It's right down there in front of the Chicago bench. And he's right on the edge of the field of play, so we'll have an official timeout here. Again, a reminder about Saturday's CBS Sports Spectacular, Dixie 500. That's being run today in Atlanta. You'll see highlights. Cale Yarborough and Richard Petty will be on hand. The world's strongest men competition. They've got another interesting event for you coming up next Saturday afternoon in that continuing series. The contestants going to try to pull a passenger tram weighing 9,200 pounds attached by a harness over a 40-yard course for time.
The injured man is Wayman Bryant. Campbell has come on the field for Chicago. Gary Campbell, who has played very little aside from special teams.
That'd be a tough one to lose for the Bears.
Yes, it would, and it means they have two very young linebackers on the outside if Bryant cannot continue to play, Campbell and Muckensturm. Buffon still has not made an appearance.
If the news isn't bad enough for the Bears yet, here's a score that'll make it worse. Detroit 14, San Diego nothing in the fourth period. That's with 9 minutes left to play in that game. Well, Bryant is on his feet, and he will rest for a moment. As we head back to play, the Oilers have the football. They have a first down at the 39-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Burrow has caught 3 passes for 126 yards. Pastorini 4 out of 7 for 129. And again, a lot of movement on both sides of the line prior to the snap of the ball.
I think they may call Elbert Drungo for that. He was wearing 74 today instead of 75. He moved a little bit too soon, the right guard.
False start. Offense number 74. Still first down. First down.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, NFL Today, Phyllis George, Brent Musburger, Irv Cross and company, run down on all the scores for you. We'll have an interesting film feature put to music and highlights of the other games. First and 15. Oilers at the 44 of the Chicago Bears. Fumble, loose football at the line of scrimmage. Who got it? Jim Tunney trying to unpeel, and the Bears have recovered the fumble. Bears recover a fumble at the 45, and it was Jeff Seavey who got it.
Well, it was a draw play to Coleman, and it looks like they never really quite got the handoff correctly. The ball, Coleman never really had his hands on the ball solidly, and Jeff Seavey is 75, you see here. And it looks like Seavey goes over the top and makes the recovery for the Bears. They have a chance to get on the board before halftime. 2:42 left in the half.
Bears first and 10 at their 46-yard line. They trail 17-0, and they give it to Payton. Payton at the 50-yard line for a pickup of 4. Second down, 6. As we told you a moment ago, the Lions lead San Diego in the fourth period with 9 minutes to go, and they, of course, are tied with the Bears for second place behind the Vikings. So Chicago would need a victory to keep pace. Second down, 6 from midfield. Avellini in trouble behind the line, and he takes the loss of 2.
It appears that maybe Walter Payton may have gone the wrong way. He went left, and I think Avellini was expecting him to go right, or vice versa. But anyway, a mix-up in the signals as Bob Avellini goes to the sideline. Houston leads 17-0.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2. with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer sportier LTD at a trimmer price. The LTD of mid-size cars. If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.
Welcome to LTD2.
A better idea from Ford.
When you're looking for tires that put teeth in winter driving, drop in on the Snowbiters at Firestone. Look at them. 2 sets of deep, biting teeth that really gobble up snow. But they don't take a bite out of you. Right now, a polyester cord Snowbiter is just $20 plus federal excise tax. And you can charge them. For quiet running, long mileage, and plenty of traction, Firestone Town and Country Snowbiters.
2 minutes left to play in the first half. Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris in the Astrodome, Houston, Texas. Walter Payton has now rushed for 62 yards and 14 carries, and that puts him past Willie Gallimore by 3 yards in the all-time rushing list. Here's Avellini on 3rd down 9. A bullet tipped away from the intended receiver, James Scott. On a fine defensive play by Reinfeldt, number 37.
It certainly was, because Scott was there, had made the turn in and first down territory, and Reinfeldt on the double zone just made a diving knockdown of the ball. It was right on the money, but he was there.
And this Oiler defense is tough. Keep in mind that during regulation time last week against Cincinnati, the only touchdown the Bengals scored was on a block punt that they recovered in the end zone. So the Oilers can play defense. Their problems mainly have been offensively. Parsons kicks away to Billy Whiteshoes. Billy Whiteshoes at the 10-yard line, signaling for the fair catch. Flags it down at the 11. And the Oilers have put it in play with 1 minute and 48 seconds left to play in the first half. And everything coming up Oilers so far. 42 yards in the punt by Parsons. Billy Johnson started the day leading the NFL in both punt returns with an average of 16.6 and kickoff returns 27.6. No NFL player ever has led in both departments in the same year. First and 10 Oilers. Let's see if Pastorini is content here to run out the clock and go to the dressing room with a 17-0 halftime lead. Whoa, delay. Coleman got just a couple of yards as the hole closed rather quickly. David Carter, number 58, making the stop. I mean, correction. 58 is Muckenster. Looking at the wrong team for a minute.
Well, if the Bears let the clock continue to roll, if they do stop them, they won't have any time to get on the board before halftime, and they'll never use their timeouts as the clock continues to roll. And the Oilers are going to go into the locker room 17-0, it appears.
Pastorini. Little swing pass out to the safety valve. That's Carpenter. Run out of bounds. Just inside the 20-yard line. A lot of running to pick up 6 or 7 yards. So the Oilers still need 3 for the first down with the ball at their 18-yard line. NFL Today is next. Brent, Phyllis, and Herb standing by in New York. Give you the rundown on all the scores and highlights of today's game. 3rd down. Houston needs 3 for the first down. Ball is at the Oilers' 18. Philadelphia has scored again on New Orleans, now 21-0. Pastorini stayed on the ground, gives to Coleman, and Coleman did not come close to picking up the first down. Reinholz, number 76, and Billy Newsome, number 87, slammed the door very effectively. And now let's see if the Bears call time. Yes, Chicago will call time to preserve the 52 seconds left, force the Oilers to punt, and then hopefully have time to get in a couple of plays and get on the scoreboard, either by a touchdown or a field goal. This will be Houston's first punt of the afternoon. So effective has been this Oiler offense so far. They've had no problems moving the ball at all. Total offense, they've picked up 288 yards to the Bears 101. And that's the reason that Jack Pardee looks a little disturbed.
You know, that may be an all-time high this year for the Oilers on offense.
For a whole game,
For
not
a whole
just a
game.
half.
For a whole game. They had not gained 300 yards in a game this season. So if they're at 288, they got to be very close. The Bears had going into this game, the Bears had gained over 1,000 yards on the season more than the Oilers had.
CBS Sports Special, Las Vegas, Friday, November 18th. Leon Spinks, Alfio Rigetti. Be watching, 11:30 Eastern Time. Should be a good one. Cliff Parsley is a rookie. He is the Houston punter. Claimed on waivers from New Orleans at the start of the season. Bears with 10 men up at the line of scrimmage. They look like they're going to put the big rush on. Here they come. And they almost got a piece of it. Got it away in good shape. Schubert fading back to his 36, to the 40, 45. And down he goes at the 48-yard line. Make it the 49 in Chicago's end of the field. 41 seconds to go, so the Bears do have time to move it close enough for at least a field goal opportunity before halftime. 44 yards in the punt. I don't see how they missed it here.
He went behind the punter here as he came with his rush. His angle was a little bit off. As he went forward on his cut, Cliff Parsley did, and the block was from behind, the punter.
Are you going to get a look at the Bears' 41-second offense now?
Yes. Chicago has one timeout left.
Bo Rather has come into the game for the Bears. Here's Avellini under pressure again, gets it away. It is short and almost intercepted by Alexander. Intended for Scott. Now, the Oilers showing a pretty good rush, and that's another thing they haven't shown so far this year. They have registered as a team only 6 sacks this season. That is the second lowest among the 28 teams in the NFL. And last year they were third in the league with 50 sacks behind San Francisco and Baltimore. They've applied the pressure to Avellini so far in the first half this afternoon. 2nd and 10.
They've got to try and get Payton downfield. They're not really doubling him when he goes out for a pass.
Musso. He looked one way, saw the ball coming. He looked the other way and saw Ted Washington coming.
Well, supposing he grabs it, you're not going to get many yards out of that play.
Looked almost like Avellini had his mind made up to swing it out there. He didn't waste much time.
It was, that was the play that was designed. So now you have a 3rd and 18-yard situation.
CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday with 3 outstanding events. The Dixie 500 from Atlanta. You'll see taped highlights of that. The Pendleton, Oregon Rodeo, which is one of the most spectacular events in that sport each year. And the World's Strongest Men competition. Watch it all next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern Time on CBS. Boy, a lot of people interested in that World's Strongest Men thing. That has really caught on, apparently.
Can you imagine yourself pulling something weighing 9,000 pounds?
No.
You sure it's not on an incline or something like that? How do you do that?
I wonder who sits up nights and thinks up things for those guys to do.
I know, but I'm not saying.
3rd down. Bears going to need 18 for the first down, and they are out of timeouts now. With 29 seconds left to play in the first half, and it's been all Houston. 2 big plays, an 85-yard touchdown pass from Pastorini to Kenny Burrow, and a 61-yard gallop on a reverse by Billy White Shoes Johnson, plus a 29-yard field goal from Tony Fritsch. Avellini, shoestring catch by Payton at the 48-yard line. He got the 8 back they lost to the previous play. Clock moving along now, and the Oilers are going to call time to give them a shot at a run back. 13 seconds left to play in the first half. Houston 17, Chicago nothing. Fourth period score, Detroit leads San Diego 20-0 now.
So it looks like the Lions are going to be 4-4 in the Central Division, and as things stand now, the Bears would be 3-5 in a very precarious position to do much the rest of the year.
Interesting plot tomorrow night on Logan's Run as Logan, Jessica, and Rem stumble onto an SOS that is 200 years old, left for 6 people in suspended animation. That do anything for you?
They want to keep this ball in suspended animation because Billy Whiteshoes is down there to return this punt. He's way over to the left, asking Bob Parsons to kick off to his left, but the rush comes from that side, so they end up.
He's kicking the other way, and Whiteshoes not even going to make a try at it. Good kick by Parsons. Out of bounds inside
nice
the
punt.
5. Boy, what a kick. Gotta like that one. So the Oilers will take over inside their own 5-yard line, but to no avail here. All they have to do is run out 5 seconds on the clock in the first half, and they can go to the dressing room with the luxury of a 17-0 lead. 50 yards on the boot, and even more important than the distance was the placement at the 3-yard line. Oilers certainly in one of football's toughest divisions with Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh.
It's tough to get into the playoffs. Cleveland is 5-2, Pittsburgh 4-3, Cincinnati 3-4, Houston 3-4. Houston has a chance to go 4-4.
Oilers' first year, Bum Phillips had him. Bum Phillips' first year, he had him 10-4, and couldn't make the playoffs. First time ever a club had won 10 games and did not make the playoffs. So Pastorini running out the clock, giving to Carpenter, and that'll do it. So the Houston fans are happy with what they have seen so far, as their left-for-dead offense has suddenly come alive with the aid of some razzle-dazzle against the Chicago Bears this afternoon. And the Oilers head to the locker room with a 17-0 halftime cushion. And the Bears are going to have to come alive. Jim Tunney meeting with the captains to determine who will kick off and who will receive in the third period of play. That's the story here at the first half in Houston. A lot more to come, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Panasonic invites you to take a picture of a voice with a Panasonic cassette tape recorder.
Things was a lot different than it is now.
All with built-in mics. Some with built-in radios. There are pocket models.
Should last another 50 years.
And even some that record in stereo.
Say something. Come on, speak something.
So take a picture of a voice with Panasonic.
Say something. Bark.
Sit tight, Pop. I'll pump myself. Let me tell you something, gang. Any gas will get you where you want to go. But it ought to be in there cleaning your carburetor, too. Now, you want to make sure you're getting the job done, use new STP gas treatment. You just pump in a can with every tank load of gas, and it goes to work cleaning like a bandit. Clean that carburetor. Get a hold of this, and do it yourself. Keep the change, partner.
Sell again! I struck oil! We can get married now.
But, Billy Joe, you are dressed for a Del Rio dogfight. You'd sure look better in Hager's slacks. Or a Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit. A variety of outfits you don't have to be rich to afford. Oh, Billy Joe, you look like $1 million.
Make that two.
Billy Joe.
Because looking good makes you feel good.
Rafferty relies on unorthodox treatment when an unknown disease threatens the life of his nurse.
It hurts like hell. What's the matter with me?
Brought her home to die.
I can't help it. I don't want to be this way.
If you want to go, go all the way. Join Rafferty on a life-saving mission. Monday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular presents highlights of NASCAR's 18th annual Dixie 500 with the leading stock car drivers racing for the checkered flag. The Pendleton Roundup Rodeo with Larry Mahan and Tom Ferguson heading the field of top cowboys. Plus, the world's strongest men competition featuring the vehicle pull. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
With 12 minutes to go, New England trails Buffalo 24-14. Roland Hooks, who replaced O.J. Simpson, gained 109 yards in the first half. The Patriots have lost their fine tight end Russ Francis indefinitely. He suffered 3 broken ribs in the first quarter. We've got a marvelous tribute to O.J. Simpson, but first, let me take you around the league now and update you on all the scores. In the fourth quarter, Dallas leading the New York Giants 21-10. Staubach played and played well today. Philadelphia and New Orleans. For you Chicago fans, Bobby Douglas quarterbacking the Saints right now. He has passed for their only touchdown, but the Eagles very much in command. 12 minutes left in Atlanta. San Francisco was ahead 10-0. Bartkowski trying to bring the Falcons back. Miami leading the Jets. The Jets have lost Todd Domrey's now the quarterback. It's a knee injury which sidelined Todd. Cincinnati and Cleveland. This is a gut-tough AFC Central game. 10-7 right now, and the Bengals trying to come back the second half of the season. And here's the major story of the day. Without O.J. Simpson, Buffalo in command all the way. The Patriots trying to come back without Francis. Detroit and San Diego. The NFC about to score its first victory over an AFC team. In the fourth quarter, 20-0 right now. The Lions lead. Many of you watching this game, 17-0 at the half. Houston in command of Chicago. The rest of you watching this contest, Kansas City leading the Green Bay Packers under their new coach Tom Bettis. Yet his score is 10-0.
This is my team, the Chicago Bears. Hello, I'm Johnny Musso, and I'd like to show you Chicago. Carl Sandburg, the poet, calls Chicago the city of big shoulders. That's because it carries so much of the trade and commerce of this country. It's where trucks and trains and ships pass through on their way to all of America. It's tall buildings on the lakefront, Old Town, Rush Street, and the Magnificent Mile. And it's people, good-natured, hard-working people, people who work in our United Way, for the boys' clubs, YMCA, Travelers Aid, and many other agencies funded by our United Way. They take pride in the Bears, in our town, in our United Way. You see, Chicago has more than big shoulders. It has a big heart. On behalf of all our volunteers, we'd like to say, thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Here are the halftime statistics. And Johnny Morris, that total offense of Houston kind of jumps out at you, doesn't it?
Yes, 286 yards, which is going to be their high for the year. They have dominated the game. It would be easy to say that a couple of big plays did it, but those 2 big plays only for about 140 yards, and you consider they got 286. Dan Pastorini has thrown only 7 passes. He's 4 for 7, yet it looks like an explosive, exciting offense for Houston. Because time of possession is kind of interesting. The Bears had the ball 17 minutes to a little under 13 minutes for Houston, but of course trail the ball game 17-0. First downs, Houston 10-6. It's been all Houston.
Those long plays don't take much time.
No, they don't.
Bears will kick off to start the second half. Bob Thomas, who missed a field goal attempt in the first half. On the Bears' opening drive, they got into position for a shot at a field goal. That's the closest that they've been to a score.
The Bears' biggest play of the game so far has been the fake punt on 4th down.
That's nasty, but true. Billy White Shoes Johnson, who leads the National Football League. In kickoff returns is the deep man. White Shoes at the 15, 20, 25. Saw the corridor completely closed, so rather than take the big hit, he just danced his way out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't even ever kick it to White Shoes Johnson. I'd kick Squibbers. If he breaks another one on the Bears, it's Katie bar the door and all over.
Officials marked the ball at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 Oilers. Coleman, number 47, is one of the running backs. Let's see. They've got Carpenter back in there. Pastorini pitching to Ronnie Coleman, and Coleman trying to go around the right side, gets maybe a yard. Bensick, number 45, facing off with Carl Mock, number 55 of the Oilers.
A little discrepancy in weight there.
Officials mark it at just beyond the 30. Pickup of 2 on the play. Call it 2nd down and 8 for the Oilers at their 30-yard line. Bears dig in defensively. They need a big play here themselves to kind of turn things around. Pastorini, who has made sparing use of the pass, but effective use in the first half of play. Coleman to the 32, got a couple of more. It'll be 3rd down 6, jammed up pretty good by the Bears. Newsom, number 87, and in the staff along with Jim Osborne, number 68.
Frank, this is a key play now. They have stopped the Oilers on 2 running downs. Now it appears that they would have to go to the pass here. The Oilers get a first down on the 3rd down play. They can continue a drive here, and maybe, you know, it would not break a spirit, but it would be very important. So the Bears have got to stop them here and try and get the ball and get going.
Oilers have 3 wide receivers in there now. They've got Foster, they've got White Shoes, and they got Burrows. On 3rd and 6, Pastorini back into the pocket, floats it out for White Shoes. Made the catch, but was he in bounds? No, he did not, or was he?
They rule he was.
He was, yes.
Let's take a look at White Shoes down at the bottom of your screen there, second to the bottom. Good pass blocking. The ball is right on the dime. He keeps his 2 feet in. Finger catch, and it's perfect. What could Virgil Livers do about that? Nothing. Beautiful play.
1st and 10 for the Oilers at their 45-yard line. White Shoes goes wide to the right side, up at the top of your screen. Burrow off to the left, down at the bottom. Coleman on the sweep. Looks like he wants to throw it. He does. Intended for White Shoes, but short of the mark. Coleman unlimbering his passing arm and showing you why he's a fine running back. Bum Phillips,
who has to be very happy. His offense has not done this well all year.
Dallas leads the Giants 24-10 with 12 minutes to go. Herrera just did a 24-yard field goal. And Miami leads the Jets 14-10. Marty Damaris now playing quarterback for the Jets. Pastorini, what an arm. First down at the 26-yard line. Eddie Foster, the rookie from Houston. And Pastorini really rifled a bullet at him.
These Oilers are just too much today. They are doing a fantastic job. A straight 4-man rush. Pastorini has good time, throws the ball, just drills it. A nice move. Ellis was there to cover, but the pass was perfect and a nice grab. Light blue caught it right in the old breadbasket, and Ellis made the tackle. There is not much you can do about that as a defensive, on your defensive coverage.
That's a 25-yard pickup and a first down for the Oilers at the Bear 26-yard line. Foster to the left side, Burrow to the right. Pastorini looking Burrow's way, and this one's high. Ellis moving up quickly on him. You know, one thing, when you're down in a ball game 17-0 that you don't want to have happen to you is the team that's leading come out and just control the ball and move down the field and add another score, because that can pretty well take care of it.
That's the situation the Bears face right now as the Oilers have a 2nd and 10 on the 26-yard line.
Good afternoon so far for Dan Pastorini.
Called an audible.
Burrow should have had it. Couldn't hold on as he was cracked by Alan Ellis, number 48.
If you listened closely, you could hear him calling the audible that time. That was just your wide receivers running the quick slant in. He was getting out of a situation. He probably had some kind of a running play or draw or something set up, and Pastorini didn't like it. Took his time, called the numbers, and hit his man on the dime, but it was dropped this time.
Mike Spivey comes into the defensive backfield, replacing a linebacker. They take out Don Reeves. 3rd and 10 for the Oilers at the Bear 26. Once again, the 3 wide receivers. Earl to the left. White Shoes Johnson in the slot. Carpenter's the only setback, and they give it to Carpenter. And Carpenter has a first down and almost has a touchdown. Carpenter is dragged down, is he? Yes, at the 1-yard line. He took half the Bear club with him.
A beautiful adjustment by the Houston Oilers as Pastorini did it all. He directed traffic. He got Carpenter into the position that he wanted him to move over, caught the linebackers inside and sealed them off to open the hole as he ran by rideouts, and then did the rest of it by himself. Finally hit by Spivey and Fensick, and he just kept going, until finally he stopped down at the half-a-yard line. Good play, good audible, and adjustment by the Houston Oilers, and they are doing a job on the Bears, let me tell you.
That is some run. 25-yard run by Carpenter. First down, goal to go inside the 1-yard line. Hardiman trying to get over. Touchdown. Down Hardiman scores for the Houston Oilers.
The Bears are arguing just a little bit that he didn't get over because the official on the far side of the field signaled the touchdown. The official on this side did not signal the touchdown, but one of them saw the ball apparently go over the top of the goal, and I'll tell you what, it's close, but they would have had 3 more shots at it anyway. They would have made it.
Fritch on to try the extra point. 8-play drive covering 72 yards. And Tony Fritch adds the extra point. And the Rockets go off in the Astrodome once again as the Oilers have mounted their lead to 24-0.
With the price of most things going up, the sticker price of Pinto, the best-selling American small car, is coming down. As of October 3rd, new 78 model Pintos with more standard features will have a lower sticker price than last year's model comparably equipped. Important features are now standard, like AM radio, power front disc brakes, rear window defroster, tinted glass, and protective body side moldings. Ford Pinto, more car for the money than last year. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Who is the #1 investment firm in the East? Who is the #1 investment firm in the Midwest? Who is the #1 investment firm in the South? Who is the #1 investment firm in the West? You know who. Merrill Lynch. All around America, more investors turn to Merrill Lynch than any other investment firm. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
That's an impressive touchdown drive when you consider it started off the second half. The Oilers never gave up the football, consumed almost the first 4 minutes of the second half of play, and now lead by a score of 24-0. We got an offside call here on the Bears before Fritch had a chance to kick it off. So Fritch is going to move the ball up to the 40-yard line instead of the 35. It's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Bears lined up offside. Fashionable deep.
I thought the ball had to be kicked before they could call the penalty. Guess not.
Oilers now have 358 yards total offense to the Bears 98. Great kick. Fashionable a yard deep in the end zone. Straight up the middle, 15, 20, and caught at the 22-yard line.
Foster, 89, bring it down along with
Foster is in there along with Mike Weegar, number 28, to make the stop. There's our first final of the afternoon. The Eagles pouring it on the Saints 28-7.
So the Eagles are now 3-5 of the Eastern Division of the NFC. 3-5.
First and 10 for the Bears on their first offensive possession of the second half as they trailed 24-0. Payton in the first half, 13 carries for 58 yards for Chicago. So Walters actually lost a couple of yards toward the end of the half and wound up being a yard shy of Willie Gallimore's record. He needed 59 to pass Gallimore on the Chicago all-time list and move into number 3. That's a final now. Miami over the Jets. The Jets are getting tough, though. They're giving everybody a battle.
Yes, they are. Miami now 6-2.
Second and 8. Peyton up the middle out to the 27-yard line. Third down, and the Bears still going to need 5 for the first down.
I think it's becoming apparent that they pretty much have Peyton's number here. Now, he may break one for the Bears, but when you're down 24-0, every time he runs the ball, you eat up the clock. You eat up 30 seconds or more on the clock. They're going to have to start throwing that ball. They have no chance to win the game.
It's the Bear Brain Trust. Jack Party in the center, flanked by Brad Eklund. Third and 5. Oilers doing a lot of jumping around defensively. Avellini trapped back at the 16-yard line. That Oiler defense that had just 6 sacks coming into the game, having a field day at the expense of Avellini. That's their 3rd sack. They've had 6 in their first 7 games. They've got 3 this afternoon against the Bears.
And did you see Willie Alexander in there? Back in the backfield, a cornerback.
Billy Whiteshoes getting set to do his number, fading back to the 40-yard line, anticipating the punt off the toe of Parsons. He had a pretty good first half. 6 kicks, averaging 44.2. Oilers playing return all the way. Fair catch by Johnson at the 42-yard line as Steve Schubert, number 85, was down there quickly for the Bears, staring him right in the eyes. 9 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Oilers 24, Bears nothing.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You get to be the superstar in renting car when you've got the kind of people who can get things ready, even before you get there. Hertz has more of them than anyone. People who want to get their job done fast and who can put out that extra effort when things get busy.
Go, Hertz, go.
People who know the most important thing is getting each customer away fast into a reliable Ford or other fine car. Come to Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Be here Sunday when Archie gets hooked on uppers.
Oh, this is going to wake up the neighbors.
Hey, neighbors!
Sunday at 9, 8.
That's a big final score and got a huge cheer a moment ago during the timeout when it was announced. Cincinnati beating Cleveland 10-7.
So that means Cleveland will be 5-3.
Oilers win this game, they'll be just, 1 game out of first place. First and 10, Houston at his 42-yard line. Don Hardiman up the middle, and the big fullback reaches the 46, and we've got a penalty marker thrown on the play. Pancic in the middle of that, along with Reinalch. Jim Tunney indicating holding against the Oilers will cost them 10 yards. Bears go back home next week to face Kansas City, and the Oilers travel to Oakland next Sunday afternoon.
The Bears have had a rough time with AFC teams, having lost the last 9.
Everybody in the NFC has had a rough time with AFC teams. NFC clubs still looking for their first victory against an AFC club this year.
They got it today. Detroit beat San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Pastorini, good protection, flag down over the middle of Hardiman. Hardiman 35-40. Here's a tough man to bring down, reaching the 45-yard line, but it may all be for naught. As the flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage, again in that holding area normally. And that's what happened. Oilers whistled down on successive plays for holding. We'll wipe out another nice gain. 9 minutes, 6 seconds left to play. Third quarter here at the Houston Astrodome. It's been all Oilers. 24-0.
Holding offense. Number 64, 10 yards, still first down.
George Reiner, rookie guard and a high draft choice. As you look at Bum Phillips, Bum always wears those Texas boots. Yeah.
No hat today.
No hat today. First down and forever as Hardiman takes the handoff and gets it out to the 28-yard line. That's a final score. 49ers, that's 3 straight now after losing their first 5. Beating Atlanta 10-3, and that's going to be a big shot in the arm of the Rams, certainly. Boy, there's a determined-looking young man.
He hasn't had a lot of running room today. A couple of times he broke into the secondary, but there was always linebackers from pursuit from the side to stop him before he could break downfield.
Second down, 26 for the first down. Oilers at their 26. Pastorini, protection is good as it's been all afternoon. White Shoes Johnson. Or you better get in before he starts rolling, or it's look out. Pickup of 7 to the 30.
Receiver, and so far it's worked out today, hasn't it?
Yeah, they brought him in just about every time on a passing situation, which is what we have here. Third down, and the Oilers need 20 for the first down at their 33. And 3 wide receivers in there for Houston. Pastorini got a man in the open, but not enough for the first down. It's the big tight end that time, Jimmy Giles, number 88, a rookie. Flagging that one down at the 44-yard line. It'll be fourth down, and the Oilers still need 9 for the first down. So Cliff Parsley, the Houston punter, will come on to punt for only the second time this afternoon. His first kick late in the first half, good for 45 yards. Well, the Bear defense has had a rough afternoon. It's Buckenstern. Bears have 10 men at the line of scrimmage. They look like they're ready to go. Here they come.
What a punt.
Boy, that one might bring rain. Bounces at the 5 and gets on into the end zone before the Oilers are able to get to it. Man rushing down there trying to save it was Ed Fisher, number 60. That's a 55-yard punt by Parsley. Timeout here in the Astrodome. We'll be back in a moment.
I'm John Kelly, a tire engineer. If you think your tires are almost indestructible, then this may be the most important message about tires that you've ever seen. Watch closely.
This car's been running for some time now with one front tire dangerously underinflated.
Inside, heat is building up, till finally, a blowout. Now, here's what can happen when tires are overloaded. Another blowout, another emergency stop.
Any tire can fail under hazardous road conditions, and if it's badly worn, it can fail to stop on wet pavement.
Remember, your tire safety depends on tire wear and load, on where and how you drive, and on carefully checking for proper inflation when tires are cold with an accurate gauge like this one. Because even an expert can't tell by just looking, especially with radial tires. If you don't look after your tires, you're looking for trouble.
Frank Lieber with Johnny Morris back at the Astrodome, and number 15, of course, is Mike Phipps, who has come into the game at quarterback for the Chicago Bears with 6 minutes, 40 seconds left to play in the third period. Robin Earl, number 39, has also come in at running back. Here is Phipps. Out to Earl. Penalty marker down as Earl past the 30 out to the 35-yard line. Let's see what the flag was all about. Avellini wound up 5 out of 12 for only 21 yards, if that's the last we'll see of him. The Bears had an ineligible receiver downfield.
Well, everything is going wrong for the Chicago Bears today. That play set up nicely, and Robin Earl showed the power that he has. Nice gain, but one of the linemen, apparently on this timing of the screen, got out down the field too soon.
Ineligible man downfield, offense number 53, still first down. First down again.
Dan Pfeiffer, the center, got in the way.
This is a big chance for Mike Phipps. He hasn't played but just a few minutes last week against Green Bay. He lost the job to Avellini during the summer, and Bob Avellini has been the #1 man. Phipps got a chance to do something as Dallas beat the Giants 24-10.
Cowboys remain the only undefeated team in the National Football League. Hand off to Payton. Payton slips a tackle at the 15 and run out of bounds at the 20-yard line. He picked up the 10 they lost in the penalty. There's another final score, and that has to go as perhaps the biggest upset of the day, if not one of the biggest of the year, after what happened to them last week in Seattle. The fact they're without O.J. Simpson. Buffalo upsetting the New England Patriots, and the Patriots lost their fine tight end, Russ Francis, who suffered a couple of broken ribs in that game and was hospitalized. Second down and a little more than 10. Payton now 71 yards on the ground in 15 carries. The give is to Robin Earl, and Earl runs into Alvin Bethea and carries him with him across the 25 to the 26. That'll set up third down, and the Bears will need 4 for the first down. What about the change to Phipps here? You think it's because the Bears know they're going to have to go to a passing game now, and perhaps he's a little better passer overall?
He's a little more experienced quarterback as far as a passing game is concerned. I think they just feel that they're not moving under Avellini, who's been calling his own game, and I assume that Phipps is calling his own game now, and they want to see what he can do. We'll see about his knowledge of the passing game right now.
Big rush. And quarterback sack number 4 for the Houston Oilers. Ted Washington, number 59, was the first man through.
Not much chance. You watch him at the bottom of your screen. Here comes Washington up. Phipps tries to go underneath. These dipsy-doos almost got away, but there was James Young to put him away, and the Bears will have to punt.
That's amazing. A team that's had 6 quarterback sacks all season in 7 games, and now they've got 4 against Chicago. Parsons, low kick, bounces at the 40. White Shoes at the 35. This could be trouble. White Shoes to the 40, to the 45, and down at the 46-yard line. Guy's like a water bug.
He is exciting, no question about it. I love his dance in the end zone. It's probably the best I've ever seen. He can really do it once he scores a touchdown.
41 on the punt by Parsons, and a 12-yard return. And we've got a timeout at the Houston Astrodome as the Oilers lead the Bears 24-0.
It took it all. Bitter cold. 120 degrees. 5 dead batteries. Nearly 4 hours with the lights on. 3 months on a frozen lake. And now it's maintenance free. The Die Hard, sold only at Sears.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2 with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer, sportier LTD at a trimmer price. The LTD of mid-size cars. If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.
Welcome to LTD2.
A better idea from Ford.
And a mighty blow for the National Football Conference struck by the Detroit Lions this afternoon.
They beat San Diego 20-0. Detroit now 4-4.
That's the first time this year an NFC team has beaten an AFC club. I'll tell you, Detroit had coming off 2 awful Sundays against San Francisco and against Dallas. First and 10 for the Oilers. Pass to Reedy. Here it goes for Burrow. Livers is out there, and this one is well covered by the Bears. Livers wasn't about to let him get away again.
The whole stadium, everybody stood up on that pass. When it hit the air in complete unison, the whole stadium went to their feet. Okay, let's watch this. Pastorine just lets fly, and actually he's short on the pass. If he'd thrown it farther, they had much more chance because he had gotten, he had to come back, everybody did, and Livers was there, and so was Doug Plank to help out, but the pass was short.
Pastorini is 8 out of 14 for 192 yards. Second and 10. Oilers at their 46-yard line. Carpenter has run for 49 yards and Coleman for 48. Here it comes again. White Shoes looking for an opening. Saw the outside closed. He tried to cut back in. And Reinholz played it well for the Bears and stopped him after a gain of just a yard or so. Oilers are moving up on 400 yards total yardage. They've got 380 to the Bears 107.
Jerry Myers is now in for the Bears at defensive end spot. He hurt his knee a couple of weeks ago against the Vikings. Hasn't played much since, but he's now playing at the defensive left end for the Bears, and Jeff Seavey's in there at a tackle spot.
All spotted back at the 46, so call it 3rd down and 10. Pastorini, pretty good rush this time, gets it away to the tight end. Giles is out to the 50, 45, 40, still on his feet and finally run out of bounds in the neighborhood of the 35-yard line. Got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Giles, rookie tight end. They have 2 fine rookies at tight end, Mike Barber and Giles, and they alternate both. And we got a clip coming up against the Oilers, which will negate at least part of that fine gain.
Gary Fensick hurt his ankle, is coming off the field. Craig Clemens in there at defensive back for the Bears. He has not played much the past few games. He lost his job to Fensick and
personal foul.
Has only played special teams.
Number 55, offense, 3rd down.
Carl Mock, the Oilers center, guilty of the clip infraction, so the officials move the ball back to the 35-yard line. It is now 3rd down and 20 as Dan Pastorini takes a look at the Bear defense. Big rush by the Bears. Pastorini in trouble, and down he goes. First time the Bears have really come on with the rush, which included a blitz from Wayman Bryant from his linebacker position, and the Oilers are saddled back at their 23-yard line. Wayman, who was shaken up in the first half. Watch him come here.
You can see him right up the middle, gets through, beats the back, and then puts the pressure on. Is number 78, Greg Johnson. He's a new Chicago Bear. And there's Reinholz, 76. They had pressure from every side, and Pastorini had nowhere to go.
4th down and 32 as Parsley goes back to punt for the Oilers. Standing on his 8-yard line. Awaiting the snap from David Carter. Steve Schubert is at the Bear 35. Again, 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Bears. Doing a little bit of stunning around on defense prior to the snap. Nice hang. Fair catch, Schubert at the 32-yard line. Stepping out of the way of Rich Sowles, who is down there quickly for the Houston Oilers. Gets fine height on his punts. Young rookie. 44 yards, an excellent hang time. CBS Sports Spectacular. Triple header next weekend, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time. The Dixie 500, which is going on even as we speak to you in Atlanta, Georgia. This afternoon, you'll see tape highlights. The Pendleton Roundup Rodeo from up Oregon way. That was videotaped back in September. And the World's Strongest Men competition. Another unusual event, pitting some of the mastodons against each other.
Well, Bo Rather's in there now for the Bears at a wide receiver spot along with Scott.
1st and 10 at the 32. Robin Earl gets the call for Mike Phipps and is out to the 35. And in case you just joined us, the Bears pulled Bob Avellini a few plays ago and inserted Phipps, as Avellini was having problems getting the Bear offense moving. Just hasn't done anything.
Chicago gave up a #1 draft choice to get Mr. Phipps during the offseason. And this is only the 2nd game that he has appeared in during the league season. And not the greatest conditions to come in when you're down 24-0. But it's a chance for him.
2nd down, 7. Bears at their 35. Phipps under pressure from the Oilers. Look out. Oh, they're... Zeke Moore, number 22, who blitzed on the play, coming up from the secondary to make the trap on Phipps. And that is 5 quarterback sacks for the Oilers.
Maybe you can catch it at the top of your screen, kind of a delay, but Phipps couldn't get his original pass on. Here comes Moore, number 22, as Phipps alertly turned around. He said, uh-oh, watch out. Puts his head down, takes the punishment, and the Oilers are all over Chicago.
Robin Earl just kind of brushed him here because he never thought Phipps would be coming back that way.
That's one reason you have to follow through on your blocks, because you never know what's going to happen. And Earl is really very inexperienced, a rookie, and that's the one thing he has to learn is his blocking assignments.
Third down, 23. Bears from their 22. Phipps loading up. Goes long for James Scott, and Scott trying to run underneath it. Back there contesting with Reinfeldt, number 37. Mike Reinfeldt, out of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, who played a little bit for the Oakland Raiders before being picked up on waivers.
Well, the Bears are throwing quite a bit into that double coverage, as Alexander had Scott short and Reinfeldt was coming over to cover deep. Against that kind of coverage, you got to throw some crossing stuff and get across the middle. I know it's dangerous, but your percentages are better that way because you can hit them between the zones.
Larson standing back on his 8-yard line, awaiting the snap from Dan Neal. Billy Whiteshoes back there waiting at his 37. Whiteshoes makes the catch at the 39, gets away from one man to the 40, 45, back to the 40 he goes, and caught by Schubert. Well, he danced backwards about 5 yards and reached the 45 and wound up being tackled on the 40. 39 on the kick. Don't forget the CBS Sports Special coming up Friday night, November 18th at 11:30 Eastern Time. We'll have the big one for you between Leon Spink, still undefeated, against the Italian heavyweight champion Alfio Righetti. First and 10 Oilers at their 40-yard line. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the third period. Oilers have scored the only touchdown of the third period. Out to Burrow, 40, 45. And caught from behind by number 75 of the Chicago Bears, Jeff Seavey, perhaps the only two-way player in the NFL these days. Hey, one thing, Pastorini hasn't gone into a conservative shell, has he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. First down, he says, boom, let's pop that ball. Hits Burrows out there. They gain 7 yards. Well, he's always been kind of a daring type quarterback, and it's paid off for him today.
Second down, 3. Oilers at their 47. Some pretty impressive stats for Dan Pastorini. We get marker down on the play as Hardiman carries into Bear territory to the 44-yard line. Let's see which way this one goes. Somebody moved prior to the snap. One of the Bears getting up slowly is Don Reeves, the middle linebacker.
He might be dazed a little bit, Reeves. The impressive thing about this, as far as the Oilers are concerned, is that their offense hadn't done very well at all. The Bears were 12th in defense going in, and the Oilers are going to gain over 400 yards. They keep up this pace, which doesn't say much. The Bear defense had been doing well the last 2 or 3 games, picking up, getting a little bit better each game, and now this is a big setback.
First and 10. Penalty against the Bears decline as the Oilers take the gain. They're at the 44 of Chicago, and another big hole up the middle as popping through is Ronnie Coleman. And Coleman carries to the 37-yard line. St. Louis has drawn first blood against Minnesota on a Jim Hart, Terry Metcalf touchdown pass. Cardinals 7 and the Vikings nothing with 4 minutes left to play in the opening period. For many of you watching, we'll be joining that game in progress immediately upon the conclusion of our game. Second and 4 for the Oilers at the 38 of Chicago.
199.
Hardiman gets the call, but looked pretty certain that the Oilers jumped the gun that time.
Giles jumped too soon. Tom Hicks is in there now playing for Don Reeves. Hicks has a bad shoulder. Reeves coming back in, so apparently he was just stunned. You know, if St. Louis goes on to beat Minnesota, let's check the call.
Motion, offense number 88. Second down.
It's the tight end, Jimmy Giles. What did you start to say about that?
The Vikings, if they lost that game, would be 5-3. Detroit 4-4, and the Bears apparently 3-5.
Still be 2 games behind. Of course, they've got the Vikings coming up in a couple of weeks, so they'll have a chance to make up at least 1 game on them. 2nd down, 9. Oilers at the 44-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Dan Pastorini, a bullet over the middle. Burrow has an easy touchdown. There are flags all over the place. I believe it'll be a pass interference call that obviously will be declined against Virgil Livers as Burrow has his 2nd long touchdown of the afternoon. And Livers is enjoying, or not enjoying, one of the longest afternoons of his career, I'm sure. See if we can see it.
1-on-1. They kept the backs in. Pastorini throws. Livers has got to cover him. Made contact before the ball got there, but it just knocked Burrows off stride, and it was an easy touchdown. He maintained his balance, went in. This game has become a rout.
42 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Hadel will hold Fritsch on the extra point try, as the Oilers can do no wrong. It's good. 3 points in the 1st period, 14 in the 2nd, and 14 in the 3rd. And the Oilers lead the Chicago Bears 31-0. Bears have been in most every game this year. This is the first time they've really been blown out, isn't it?
Well, New Orleans blew them off the map. I don't think they've been blown out. Otherwise, all the other games have been fairly close. New Orleans got hot. Archie Manning scored several touchdowns. But this,
at least they scored against the Saints, though.
At least they scored against the Saints, and they're in danger of being shut out. Of course, they shut the Packers out last week. Look at these Houston Oiler fans. Big day, big plays, exciting football. And the Bears, Burrow with a one-on-one situation, not much help. You leave him going one-on-one with the defensive back, it's pretty tough to cover.
Well, these fans just won't quiet down. High kick and very, very short. Coming down to the 20-yard line, fumbled by Earl, picked up by Baschnagel. Baschnagel is back to the 25, cutting to the near sideline to the 30. Tried to spin back inside and couldn't quite get there. We got a marker down. We also got a couple of Bears down. Here's the stats on Pastorini. He is 11 out of 17 for 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Burrow has caught 5 for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I would hate to total up the yardage now. I mean, they could be approaching some kind of record here.
They're 433.
They're 433 yards. We still have a quarter to play. Oh, my gosh.
Is right.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 86, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So the clip goes against Bob Parsons. And the penalty moves the Bears back to the 14-yard line. Boy, this crowd is really up. Mike Phipps under pressure. Robin Earl is wide open over the middle at the 20-yard line. And Earl is stopped at the 24. He picked up very close to a first down. See if it'll be close enough to measure here. Now they indicate Bear first down, and it's been a while since Chicago's had one of those.
I think Robin Earl is showing that he can play football in the NFL. He's been dependable on the things that he has done today, and he is a hard runner.
There's the gun. That's a 4th period score. That gun indicating the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Oilers 31, Bears nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Jack's first crush on a girl could be shattered by a divorce. Strange doings on the Fitzpatricks, Tuesday night on CBS.
Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris. The Astrodome in Houston, Texas, where the Oilers are pouring it on the Bears. 31-0 as we head into the final period of play. Bob Avellini, who started the ball game at quarterback, played the first 2.5 quarters looking on. And it's been a sad afternoon for the Chicago Bears. 1st and 10, Bears at their 23-yard line. Robin Earl gets the call from Mike Phipps. Hurdles across the 30-yard line out to the 32. Got 7 on that play. It'll be 2nd down 3.
Los Angeles has jumped on top of Tampa Bay in the first quarter, 3-0. The Rams have a good chance to take over number 1 in the Western Division by themselves because Atlanta lost today. The Rams are 4-3. They could be 5-3, and you got to figure they'll beat Tampa.
2nd down. Bears need 3 for the first down at their 32-yard line. Payton has the first out at the 37-yard line. So the Bears put together 2 straight first downs and have a mini drive working at their 38-yard line. This drive started back at the 14.
Their Oiler record for yardage in one game is 582 back in 61 against Denver. That was when it was the old AFL. There you see Kansas City leading Green Bay 17-10 in the fourth quarter.
Payton gets the call, gets a block from Earl, trying to get outside, lost the ball. Loose football picked up by the Oilers. That may be an easy touchdown for Houston, as racing into the end zone is Greg Bingham, number 54, the Oiler linebacker. When it rains, it pours, even in the Astrodome. 34 yards on the fumble return by Bingham. Brazil spikes the ball for him.
And that is only the 3rd fumble by Walter Payton this entire season, which is quite an accomplishment itself. But this time, the ball just comes loose, and Bingham picks it up on the bounce as Walter tried to grab it out, and there was only one man who had a chance to stop it, and that was Mike Phipps, and he had 3 guys to go through, and Mike said, it's already 31-0. What the heck? And it was a touchdown for Bingham as the Oilers lead 37-0, and in a moment, probably 38-0.
Able to hold. And Fritz drills another one through. So the rout continues here at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, as the Oilers lead the Bears 38-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone, Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Why are men switching from aerosol hairsprays to Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray?
The pump? Because it doesn't spray any aerosol propellants.
The pump? Well, it costs less to use. Save money.
It's because the pump is stronger. It can hold longer than the best-selling aerosol.
The Pump. Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray. Now with an even finer spray. Why don't you switch from your aerosol to...
The pump. The pump.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night, sensational.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
Tony Fritz kicking off for the Houston Oilers. He's got to be getting a little leg weary. High kickoff, sailing down the Baschnagel at the 9, 15. Fire back to the 20, 25. Fighting his way across the 30 and reaches the 35-yard line. Pretty good effort. Sid Gelman, the Bears offensive coordinator, who used to be the head coach here for the Houston Oilers. And the Bears offense has gone nowhere. 120 yards total yardage thus far today. Denver leading Pittsburgh 7-0 with 5 minutes left to play in the opening period.
Since the merger, Houston's all-time high is 402 yards against San Diego in 1975. So this has to be a high since the merger, 433 yards against the Bears.
Scott to the left side, rather in the slot. Robin Earl takes the handoff from Phipps, gets a couple of yards. Art Stringer, number 53, made the stop. Oilers are now bringing on some of their second teamers on defense.
The Bears have taken Walter Payton out and have brought in Art Best, number 25, who formerly played for Notre Dame.
Second down. Call it 9 for the Bears at their 36. Art Best. Fumble the ball. Picked up by Robin Earl. And Earl carried it to the 46-yard line.
That's a slick way to do it. Robin Earl, very alert, who was probably supposed to be throwing a block, but he saw the ball, so he picked it up. Got a few extra yards. Let's take a look. As you see Best, and you see Robin Earl somewhere around there, as Best gets hit and fumbles, and Earl picks up the ball and gets a few extra yards out of it.
Not quite enough for a first down. It'll be third down, less than a yard for the first down for the Bears at their 45. And they don't get it either. Houston defense completely stacks up that middle. And there is no running room whatsoever for Robin Earl. Leading the defensive charge, Art Stringer, number 53. There's Payton's statistics this afternoon. That's if he doesn't see any more action. And really, in one way, there's not much sense in risking him in a game like this.
Did they throw a pass in that series? 3 straight runs, wasn't it?
At this point, I think they're content to get out of there with their lives. Huh?
It's football, though. You got to try and score. I don't care what the score is.
Nice punt by Parson on into the end zone for the touchback, and the Oilers take over at the 20-yard line. 55 yards on the punt by Parsons. Timeout here in the Astrodome, with the Oilers leading 38-0.
Oh, another all-nighter for the old workaholic, huh?
Somebody's got to get the work out.
Many people drive themselves too hard, and it's putting the cost of health care under a lot of stress. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans have programs to hold costs down, but everybody needs to help.
I hear you're working on a transfer.
Huh?
Yeah, to that big office in the sky.
When you overtax yourself, we all pay for it.
All of us helping each other. Energy for a stronger America.
A lot of the oil and gas under America's land has been found, and our known resources are dwindling. Right now, we're using nearly twice as much oil as we're producing, and considerably more than we're finding. This is why Exxon researchers continue to look beyond conventional sources for more energy, including ways to harness solar power, in order to provide more energy for our strong America.
First and 10 for the Oilers at their 20-yard line. Every time you hear a roar in the background, the PA announcer announces a new record that the Oilers offense have set this afternoon. Burroughs has set a new club mark for yardage on receptions in one game. Pastorini's still in there. Hands off to Coleman, and Coleman after the 27-yard line. Pickup of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Ron Rydolphs makes the stop for the Bears. Hey, Bum Phillips hadn't called off the Dogs offensively, has he?
If he goes to the air now, watch out.
Well, it's been mostly famine for the Houston offense this season up until today. Coleman broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. He'll be close for the first down at the 31-yard line. He's been around 4 or 5 years, free agent, believe it or not, and a fine runner.
I would imagine the Oilers won't throw anymore unless they get to a third down passing situation. I don't think they'd want to pour it on. It's kind of an unwritten rule when you get up 38-0.
Burrow to the left side. Foster is off to the right. Pastorini gives to Hardiman, and the Bull thunders forward to the 35-yard line. Pick up a 4. It'll be second down 6. 10 minutes left to play in the game. Bears will have to try to regroup as they get Kansas City at home next week, and the Oilers now with some good momentum going will travel to Oakland to take on the world champion Oakland Raiders. Houston at the 448-yard mark in total offense. It's a new club record for them. Coleman stopped at the 37-yard line.
The Bears now have Mike Spivey playing on one of the corners, giving him some experience in a game that is out of control, resting Allen Ellis.
Hicks making the tackle on that last play. It'll be third down 3 for the Oilers at their 37. Burrows wide to the right side. Got Foster in the slot inside of him. Hardiman and Pullman, the setbacks behind Dan Pastorini. Hardiman, 40, 45. That's another first down for the Oilers at the 46-yard line. Hardiman goes about 235 and a lot of power.
He was discovered he had kind of a cyst or a tumor on his chest in the last couple of weeks, but they've decided it's not malignant and that he can play, and they're going to remove it at the end of the season. But they were very worried about Hardiman before they took the test, and they found out that it was not malignant.
First and 10, Oilers at their 46-yard line. They lead 38-0. Coleman trying to get outside, dips back in, but he's caught. After picking up a couple of yards by number 54, Tom Hicks of the Chicago Bears. Do we have a thing on the last time the Bears were shut out? You got that in the book? We must have that in there somewhere.
We'll find it somewhere. Oh, who cares about that statistic anyway?
Second and 10.
322. 322.
Burrow. Little hit screen to the wide receiver, and Burrow has run out of bounds at midfield. Picked up about 4 in the play. Oakland's in front of Seattle 10-0.
Ken Stabler to Fred Biletnikoff for a 3-yard touchdown pass.
That's a second period score. Third down. Oilers need 6 for the first down. Ball squarely at midfield. Eddie Foster wide to the right side.
He's got a man-for-man situation down here.
Got Spivey covering him. Intended for the tight end, Jimmy Giles. Correction, that's Mike Barber, number 86. Giles wears 88. And the Oilers will be punting.
Denver has taken a 14-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers. An 87-yard punt return by Rick Upchurch. The Steelers are having all kinds of problems these days. Various forms of dissension.
You saw Schubert standing back on the 10, Cliff Parsley. Bears with a 10-man rush. Again, he hangs it up there beautifully. Fair catch signal by Schubert. But you can see he had 3 blue shirts around him waiting for the ball to come down. Parsley really got a lot of hang time on it. 36 yards in the kick, but very effective. Bears will take over on their 13-yard line. First and 10. We'll be back in a moment.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel.
7, around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
I had my own way of tackling. I used to grab the whole backfield. Then I threw guys out until I found the one with the ball. When I started drinking beer, I did the same thing. And this is the one I'm holding on to. Light beer from Miller. It has a third less calories than a regular beer. It's less filling, and it tastes terrific, too. I also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Cardinals have struck again against the Minnesota Vikings. That's a Jim Hart, Wayne Morris touchdown pass. And St. Louis is 2 touchdowns up on the Vikings. And the Bears may have blown a golden opportunity today to pick up some ground on the division leaders. Robin Earl gets the call, and he's gang tackled by that blue-shirted wave who call themselves the Oilers defense. Don't forget, most of you will see that St. Louis-Minnesota game. We'll pick it up in progress as soon as our game ends. Clock moving along here at the Astrodome, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, let's see. The Bears were shut out by the Atlanta Falcons 10-0, third game of last season, regular season play. Mike Phipps. Robin Earl, the safety valve man, and he is tackled back at the 10-yard line. Loss of the play, Ted Washington, number 59, the first man through there. Art Stringer, number 53, with some help. And Phipps not having any more luck than Bob Avellini did in getting the Bear offense on track.
Who knows, maybe we'll see Vince Evans, their third quarterback. The Bears have dropped 2 yards on their total offense. They're 122 now for the game, as opposed to 462 for the Oilers. 17 first downs for the Oilers, 8 for Chicago. But the Bears still have 3 timeouts.
Third down, 12. Well, those timeouts going to come in handy.
Uh-oh.
And Phipps is trapped in the end zone for a safety. Mike Phipps is pinned in the end zone for a safety. And that makes it Houston 40 and the Bears nothing.
A picture of dejection as Phipps went back to pass the ball, and there were 3 blue shirts right there. He's almost 10 yards back to throw that ball. James Young got through there, set up very deep. The ball was on almost the 10-yard line, and he was hit at the goal line. That's very deep to be setting up.
James Young, who we mentioned to you at this time last year, was a Houston fireman and signed as a free agent and has done a fine job on the front 3 of the Houston Oilers. That is 6 traps unofficially by the Oilers today.
And they only had 6 the entire year until today.
In the first 7 games, they have duplicated that effort this afternoon.
The Bear offensive line has just not done the job today, and that's been one of the strong points for the running game, and even as far as sacks are concerned, the Bears haven't given up that many sacks.
A couple of other scores for you. The Rams lead Tampa Bay 10-0 in the second period, and Kansas City over Green Bay 20-10 with 4 minutes to go. So the Bears now at the free kick. Bob Parsons will punt. They have their option, of course, of a punt or a place kick.
What a punt.
Billy White Shoes Johnson at the 24, 30, 35, 40. White Shoes to midfield, to the 45, to the 40. He may be gone.
Oh, over the crossbar. Oh, White Shoes.
These fans are just about blowing the roof off the Astrodome. I don't know how he got by the first bunch here.
He was hit by 2 or 3 Bears and just jolted out of the tackle. Steve Schubert, 85, loses his shoe. He was the only one that could have made the tackle, and his shoe came off. And that was it. He wasn't going to catch him anyway. Here it comes. Get ready. Dunk it. They did it. That's 10 feet high, folks. 10 feet.
That's the third dunk I've seen this year. Henderson of Dallas and Richard Wood of Tampa Bay did it in the same game. That may become fashionable. Who knows? 5 minutes, 24 seconds left to play in the game. And the Oilers lead it 47-0.
Introducing the Ford in your future. The new Ford Fairmont Wagon. A new wagon designed for today and the years ahead. The Fairmont wagon has excellent mileage ratings, but while it is trim and lean outside, Fairmont has almost 90% of the passenger space of most large wagons, and with the seat down can swallow up all this cargo. Yet for all this, the new Fairmont wagon as shown is actually sticker price less than this little VW Rabbit. Test drive Fairmont, the newest better idea from the Wagon Master.
Will the insurance fix our chimney?
Sure, after we plow through the paperwork.
It's different with Allstate.
What's different?
We have the world's largest team of claims specialists.
Don't worry about a thing.
They settle most claims like this without estimates.
No problem.
Allstate specialists are interested in you, not paperwork.
I'll call the contractor today.
Oh.
That was easy. When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us, the Good Hands people.
Virgil Livers on the Bears bench. Been a long afternoon for Chicago. 75 yards on that punt return by Billy White Shoes Johnson. I guess that goes into the book statistically as a punt return, you know, even though it's on a free kick. Baschnagel, 15, 20. And down at the 28-yard line.
That play was typical. 3 blockers on Rich Scholes, number 29, I believe it was, and he still made the tackle. Shedded 3 blockers, made the tackle.
See, the Bears, or rather the Oilers, have had plays covering 85, 75, 61. That's not bad.
And you know, I was thinking about White Shoes on that slam dunk of his. He's only 5'9". That's getting up there.
That's right, especially after you've run 75 yards.
Yeah.
And probably a little more because he took the circuitous route to the goal line. Art Best in the handoff from Phipps out to the 30. 5 minutes left to play.
I would hate to total up the total. This is 460 yards on offense, but you include your returns and all that stuff. I'd be afraid to total up how many yardage the Oilers have run for today. Jim Osborne obviously not feeling too good. This is an embarrassing defeat for the Bears. It's the kind of defeat that can last a long time in the minds of the players.
Again, Best out to the 32, and we get a flag. We may have a late hit.
James Young, 77, came on, and
I'm sure the Bear players would like to find a hole around the bench they could dig to hide in. But artificial turf, you can't even do that.
You can't dig.
Jim Tunney, the referee, with the penalty call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 77 defense. First down.
James Young guilty of the late hit. Don't forget, stay tuned for the Vikings and the Cardinals next on most of these stations. Cardinals leading that game, which is already underway, 14-0. Robin Earl charging hard across the 50-yard line to the 46 of the Houston Oilers.
I think it can be safely said that the Bears have not been able to solve that 3-4 defense, the 3 linemen and the 4 linebackers. And, of course, Sid Gilman, being an offensive coach and being a man who helped install it here at Houston, should have known how to beat it, but sometimes you just can't do it. You know how to do it, but it just, you don't get the execution.
Second down, 3. Earl has another first down for the Bears at the 41-yard line.
Get ready, Bob.
He's getting ready for next week is what he's getting ready for. Huh?
Well, they might get a shot at it. You know, get 3 points on the board, at least 47-0. 47-3 sounds a little better. Or does it?
A little better, but not much. 1st and 10 for the Bears at the Oiler 41. 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Earl punt behind the line. Good defensive penetration by Ted Thompson, number 51 of the Oilers, to make the tackle. And we were talking during one of the timeouts, if the Bears had seen much of this three-man front, you were telling me you saw it all during preseason.
They saw it quite a bit during the preseason as they played several AFC teams, and then it's really similar to a 53 defense. The alignment except one is a down lineman, the fourth man, and here it's a linebacker standing up. So they have faced it enough
to
know what they're doing.
13. Bears at the Oiler 44. Robin Earl breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, drags Thompson with him down to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And the clock running close now to the 2-minute warning, which will be upcoming in some 25 seconds.
I cannot believe that the Bears can't throw to a wide receiver on a quick slant or something like that, that they can pop one, at least try something like that. It's 3rd and 10. Something more precision type, so rather than the bomb, but where it can break into a bomb.
Mike Phipps, little screen out to Earl, and Earl is dragged down by Art Stringer, number 53. Two-minute warning going to both benches here at the Astrodome, with the Oilers leading 47-0.
I was asked to talk about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. There's almost nothing it can't hold. But the Workmate is so incredible, I'm going to let it do the talking.
The Workmate from Black & Decker and nobody else. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
We must transmit the power to our homes and factories. We gotta make the highway safe for folks like you and me. Our cars should be lighter for the most from every mile. We must clean up, recycle, and make the whole world smile. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Bears huddling back in their end of the field as we're about to get down to the final 2 minutes of play. Actually, 1 minute and 56 seconds showing on the clock. And as we head back to play, Chicago will have a 4th down, 13 upcoming with the ball at the Houston Oilers 43-yard line. The Bears have not really had a super serious scoring threat of this entire game. First time they had the ball, they moved it into field goal range, and Thomas missed from about 40 yards away. And that's been it as far as the Bear offense is concerned. Parsons to punt. Didn't even have Billy Whiteshoes in there that time. They're giving him a rest. As Parsons punts out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Fine punt. CBS Sports Spectacular, 4:30 Eastern Time. Next Saturday afternoon, a trio of events, all of them good ones for you auto racing fans. The Dixie 500, which is being held this weekend. In Atlanta, Georgia, we'll have the Pendleton Roundup Rodeo from Oregon Way, and another round of the world's strongest men competition. That's next weekend, next Saturday, on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Well, you talk about a sad man. Jack Pardee, going to be a long ride back to Chicago.
Well, it's one of those kind of embarrassing defeats, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of work on the drawing boards.
Great handoff by the Oilers as they've gone to a change here now in their quarterback situation. Handoff went to Carpenter. Tommy Donovan, number 11, who is a rookie from Texas Tech, is now quarterbacking the Oilers for the final minute and a half. Kansas City took Green Bay, so Tom Bettis has his first victory in his first outing as head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Second down, 7.
The Chiefs are now 2-6. The Packers 2-6.
And the Chiefs, of course, will be at Soldier Field in Chicago next Sunday afternoon to face the Bears, who will hopefully have recovered by this time. Carpenter to the 14-yard line. Bears, of course, have the timeouts, but they're not about to use them. They just want to run this clock out and get the heck out of here.
That, my friend, is an understatement of the year.
If they never see the Astrodome again, it'll probably be too soon. Third down. Oilers need 3 for the first down, and the Oilers have set a bunch of total offense records this afternoon and individual pass receiving records. Penalty marker down as the clock stops with 25 seconds to go. Oilers are at the 470-yard mark in total offense against the Bears, 125. This is probably the only stadium in the league that keeps total offense running for you on the scoreboard. So you can look up anytime you want and see what each club has done. Here's Jim Tunney with the penalty call.
Offside, offense left end, third down.
So the penalty moves it back to the 10-yard line. It'll be third down, 7. Could be the last play of the ball game. Mercifully for the Bears, let's hope it will be. Oh, big hole for Carpenter out to the 20. First down at the 28, but that'll be it. And that will put the Oilers almost at the 500-yard mark for total offense for the afternoon. So that's it. Our thanks this afternoon to our producer, Dave Fox, and our director, Chris Erskine, and the good people who've helped us with our telecast from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. It was the Oilers all the way, 47-0. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
Are we turning our kids into sugar junkies? Will Israel's Prime Minister give an inch? And whatever happened to the Air Force's midget flying machine? Watch 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
Looking on. You'll have a chance to look on at the half, and see highlights of all the other games and scores from around the league with Brent, Phyllis, and Irv. But don't go away at the half.
This man can put 400-yard days on the board, and he's overthrown 2 wide-open receivers deep. And the St. Louis defense is still suspect in some areas.
At the 40. First down, Vikings, first and 10. Cardinal 40, they trail 20-0. Here's Chuck Foreman coming around to the outside with the knee. Foreman breaks a couple of tackles, 2 more down inside the 10. Chuck Foreman off to another great day, stopped finally by Mark Arneson. It'll be first and goal, Minnesota.
Foreman over 500 yards rushing now. He came in with 495. Look at the block on the outside by number 35.
Robert Miller.
And I'll tell you, Foreman looks for ways to break it open. He doesn't have great speed. He just has great football instinct.
It'll be first and goal as we get close to the notification that we have 2 minutes left before the half. Here is Foreman's run again.
Miller makes the block. Foreman makes the yardage. Don't go away.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. At 33 miles per gallon highway, 23 city, Fairmont has the highest mileage ratings in its class. Yet it has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. And base sticker prices for the Fairmont line start at just $35.89. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
A guy I know tells me this new Sunbeam adjustable groomer razor is the greatest shaver ever made. I say, so what? I'm a blade man. He says, try it and you won't be. He's right.
Here's how Sunbeam's new groomer razor works. 12 stainless steel blades cut at 8,000 strokes a minute through the thinnest shaving head you can get. Stands whiskers up and shears them off, at or below the skin line.
You a blade guy? Try this. It may be the last time you use a blade.
Houston 47, the Chicago Bears nothing. Welcome to those of you who watched that game, and welcome to this one. St. Louis 20, Minnesota nothing, with 2 minutes to go before the end of the first half. It is first and goal, Minnesota. The crowd at the Met comes to life. At the 8. Robert Miller bangs down to about the 6 before the Cardinals converge, led by Mike Dawson.
Neither quarterback has been close to being sacked. In fact, there's been little pressure on either one. And Foreman, working for Fran Tarkinen, has 36 yards pass receiving, 72 rushing for 108 yards total offense, and it's not at the half yet.
Averaging 9 yards a carry is Chuck Foreman in this game. Minnesota has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. It'll be second and goal for the Vikings. Hawkinson, of course, the quarterback.